Rolling.
Peace, just as I came along. Welcome to the Universal Parliament on February 26th in Mecca, we call it Wisdom Equality. Today's degree is Wisdom Equality. You know, and what year was that? It was the year 8,400 before my present history of Quran, 2,600 years before the birth of the Prophet Musa. I want to talk about wisdom equality, wisdom being a woman and her quality, what she shared. We're starting an online newsletter for Earths, so the Earths can be heard. A lot of sisters are strong, silent type, and through the medium of writing and advantage of the social media on the website of Allah Your Center in Mecca, their words can be heard. We listen to them, but we not get to really hear what they say. Being the year of wisdom, understanding, talking about mother and child, earth and babies, moon and star, it's time for us to recognize their contribution and let their word be heard. So, if anybody wants to contribute to the venture, there'll be a Zoom meeting set up. Queen Taniqua is having it on her Zoom channel. So send your email to queentaniqua@gmail.com. queentaniqua@gmail.com so she can get your email so you be added onto the Zoom. Quality, loss, and quality.
Peace.
Rasheen.
Ready whenever you are.
All right, peace everyone. I'm God Divine Prince of Law. Right? And I want to welcome everyone to our Universal Parliament. Today is a special occasion. We're here today. This Parliament is specifically slated to celebrate the legacy of our father of law. Right? We got a very short window for people to speak. Right? There are some that are going to have a presentation here. There's going to be a video show by information. Also, doing nation business, right? To keep you abreast of what is occurring with the affairs of our nation, right? Then we have stated we start to be served at 5:30. We're here from 2 to 7, so it's a very short window, right? And the people that come up and speak, I'm asking to be mindful of the time and allow to speak. There are 2 lists here. One for those who want to speak, and one for those specifically doing nation's business. Please sign them and participate. Once again, welcome everyone. We're looking forward to having a great parliament for a great man that we're the only one that recognized him historically, right? In the year of what we call Black History Month, you'll hear about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You'll hear about some of our other predecessors that contributed to the progress and growth of the Black nation here in the wilderness of North America. The 5% are here, right? The Security Academy, if you recognize it, that it seems like we're the last soldiers standing in this community. But we're known worldwide. The 5% have a good name, right? Some of us have been around for years, and they're still coming in. We're known everywhere, right? Around the world. And this began with the efforts of just one man, born in 1928, assassinated in 1969. He was among us for 5 years, but his work was great. He raised up the growth, the intelligence, the participation of Black youth here in Mecca. This is the root of our civilization. So I'm not going to tie you down because we have a lot going on here. Don't look at these policies like there's no good, that we're the only one that's going to be here. There's going to be a lot going on today. And I encourage anyone that's here to please come up, sign the sheet, and to participate. Give us what you got. You can only give us what you got. You know? And thank you all for showing. All right? Thank you very much. Peace. I'm God Divine Prince of Law. The floor is open. Peace. Anyone interested in building, the floor is open. Huh? Peace. Good.
I saw old Mario know your purpose of being here, what you are getting out of, getting knowledge of yourself. Introduce yourself to your nation. This nation is yours, so introduce yourself. Let people know who you are. I remember back in 1970, I think it was, Carlos used to say, hey, Saul, when you going to get up and introduce yourself? I always sat down and did the knowledge. They kept pressing me to get up and just introduce yourself. So quite naturally, you're going to be nervous. If this is your first time speaking in front of an audience, you're going to be nervous. We understand that. But practice makes perfection. So, brothers and sisters, today's mathematics is wisdom equality. So the wisdom's equality is that it adds on to allow us to build and make ourselves born. The equality, the wisdom has equality. Understand mathematics. That knowledge, again I say, without wisdom is dormant. Understand, knowledge is the foundation. Therefore, knowledge always exists. The wisdom is what adds on to bring about the understanding. The wisdom is like the bridge to bring about understanding. So knowledge without wisdom is just dormant. We know that wisdom is the manifestation of your knowledge. Understand what I'm saying. People understand. When you listen, understand what I'm saying. We all got knowledge. All of us. Whether you're 5%er, an 85%er, everybody got knowledge because knowledge is the foundation. If you didn't have knowledge, there wouldn't be anything. You understand? But wisdom is the manifestation of what you got, of what you know. If you don't have wisdom, you are dormant. You just here. Can't express yourself, can't show nobody anything. When Prince spoke about Allah took that knowledge and made it walk and talk because he let the wisdom be what? Born. When the wisdom is born, understanding is the spark which allows you to what? See. So understand the importance of wisdom's equality. The equality of the wisdom is to let you see what it does to bring about understanding for you to see. If you didn't have wisdom, you would just be here with nothing to do. You can relate that to the woman, you can relate that to your ways and actions, you can relate that to anything in life. That's why it says, of all things, people get wisdom. You understand? I didn't even understand that until I understood the flag. When I looked at the flag and I saw the sun, the moon, and the stars, I understood the relationship of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Because when you look at the flag, you see knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The sun is the knowledge, the crescent is the wisdom, and the understanding is the spark or that star. So you have that in your flag. Look at your flag. Understand what your flag represents. It represents you as above, so below. I'm just trying to get you to understand mathematics. People got mathematics don't even understand it. You understand? Today's mathematics, again, is wisdom equality. It says build or destroy. Well, it causes you to build, to be born, when you make the cycle complete. You say 120 degrees. Is that not knowledge, wisdom, of the what? Cycle. It's not knowledge cycle. It says knowledge, wisdom cycle. In other words, it's letting you know that the cycle is not complete without wisdom. The wisdom will complete the cycle and bring about what? The So if you ain't got no understanding, then what you here for? You understand? But the only way to get understanding is to let that wisdom be what? Oh. Now you understand what I'm saying. The importance of the wisdom. We spoke about the woman. What good is the man if he ain't got the wisdom to bring about the child? You can relate that any way you want. Look in the universe. How do you know the sun is still shining? Because you see the moon. It reflects the light. So the wisdom is most what? Necessary. Don't disregard that. Even when you start talking about being wise, you can't be wise unless you know something. And then when you know something, then you get wise. And that wiseness start making you understand what the hell is going on, what you about. Because I'm going to tell you something, man. Wisdom is like a mirror. And if you don't see yourself, then you are going to be blind, my brother. You understand? The cipher is knowledge, wisdom cipher. To make that cipher complete, you got to have both parts. Both parts make the what? Whole. And when you make the whole, then you see the reflection of everything coming back. Don't you know the devil don't care whether you got knowledge. He don't care what kind of knowledge you got. But if you can't manifest that knowledge and make people understand what that knowledge is about, he don't give a damn. He said, yeah, they got a lot of knowledge, but they ain't got no understanding. Because they ain't got no wisdom. Can't manifest what they got. You understand? Understand our law. Our law brought it to a what? Head. You understand? Because Allah brought the wisdom what out. It says, how was that man successful? How come Allah was successful? Because he let the wisdom be what? Born. And when he let the wisdom be born, the cycle was complete. And when it was complete, then he showed it to you. Like they said, ye must be what? Born again. You have to be born, and the only way you're going to be born is with knowledge, wisdom, sight. That's how one and two. And if we don't understand the flow of those mathematics, well, you hear people say, don't put the wisdom before the knowledge. You know why they say don't put the wisdom before the knowledge? Because you're going to get a backwards understanding. As a matter of fact, things are going to be turned opposite for you. You understand? You'll drown if you let the water go above your head. Wisdom is water. Wisdom is the way. If your wisdom ain't got no knowledge, then you just out here doing any old crazy ass thing because you let the wisdom before the knowledge. You let yourself do things without knowing what the hell you were doing. And therefore you out here doing wrong. Like you see all these crazy people out here doing all this wrong. They live in a backwards way of life. You understand? Like God told me a long time ago, wisdom knowledge is understanding, y'all. It is understanding, but it's not the proper order. The proper order is knowledge and wisdom. Don't forget your what? R-O-O-T. If you put wisdom before knowledge, you forget your R-O-O-T. In other words, you're putting things out of what? Order. And if you put things out of order, you get chaos. Eventually, you're going to see chaos. You're going to be like this. Damn, I don't understand. I just don't. Because it's all backwards. But when you turn it around and put the knowledge before the wisdom, then you get the proper. Then you start to say, oh, shoot, now I see. I can understand what the hell is going on. Why am I talking about that? Because I saw that for myself. I had to go through that. And brothers used to say, Saul, don't you know it's not wisdom now? I said, what the hell do they mean now? I really had to look at that. And then I started to understand the order. You understand? Because that what looks good sometimes ain't good. They tell you that in the scripture. They say, there is a way that appears to be nice, or whatever word they say. There is a way that appears to be good to man. When I say man, I mean man, woman, and child. There is a way that appears to be nice or right, but the end leads to destruction. Therefore, don't get misguided. Because that which appears to be beautiful might wind up being your end. You got to get it right. And when you get it right, not only do you see beauty, but you see the right beauty. I just wanted to say something because get up and talk to your nation. You understand? God is keeping the order. Now, I spoke. My name was down there, but I wasn't speaking now. But I just wanted to talk to y'all. Because I like talking to y'all. And the point about it is, you should like talking to your people. Because your people is the ones that saying, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, sister. The other people are saying, man, I don't want to hear that crap. So you hear with your ear like, why not be comfortable with your ear? Talk to your ear like. Because they got the same knowledge you got. So they all fighting. So like I said, you might be nervous. I remember when I was nervous, over 50 years ago, I was like, I want to get up and talk. I want to get up and talk. I'm a joke talker. They kept saying, Sparkle, when you gonna get up and talk? When you gonna get up and talk? When you gonna get up and talk? Finally, I said, all right, I'm gonna get up and talk. I was like this. But as you keep doing it, you start saying, hey, this is all right. And then you hear your brothers in the background say, go ahead, God, feel God. Make you feel better. So talk to your people, man. Say something to your people. Let them know what you got. Introduce yourself. Even if you just come up like, oh, we're talking about the baby. You tell the baby, introduce yourself. Well, some of y'all are babies to speaking in the parliament. So get up and speak at your parliament. There's brothers that get up there and just tell you the supreme mathematics. One down, two with, then they say peace. That's their beginning. Everybody got a beginning. Talk a little bit. Let people know what you're about. All right? And at the same time, you'll understand and say, dang, that was good. I'm going to do that again. It's good, brother. It rubs off. It rubs off. And the point about it, it makes you comfortable with it. And then when you go out in the world, you'll be able to speak with those with more confidence. Wisdom equality. The wisdom's equality builds so that it can make you see things being.
Hey, next speaker is supposed to be Law Supreme. If he's not in here, we're going to go with Father Shabon. Father Shabon, we're going to do next one.
I'm sorry, God.
Hey!
Hey!
No. Hey! Hey! That's hey.
Come to Father, Lord, turn away my law, and today's supreme mathematics is wisdom equality. We've all been born to build or destroy. Wisdom equality. We're in the Father equality board month. Okay? And this month is a commemoration of Black history. Because guess what? Black history is world history. Okay? How do I know that? I know that because the original man came out of black men on the fall of civilization and all the universe. What did I say? The fall of civilization. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta understand that. How dare you give us 1 month for Black history? You know what I'm saying? But as I said, it's for commemoration to our fallen father. And when I say that, you gotta understand the law of wisdom. Wisdom, equality. Pay attention. In the front of my name is Father. What's the equality degree of the supreme alphabet? Father. Okay? I want you to pay attention as I go. Understand what I'm saying? All right. The Father is on the floor of North education with the proper knowledge and stuff. And that's what he did. In the name of the law. Hold on, though. We're going to pause for a minute, though. All of his sons ain't just start calling him the Father. In fact, they used to refer to him as Father. It took a few years before that. And the reason why, you know, they called him the Father. Maybe the gods from the second era, like me, you know what I'm saying, the late 70s and stuff like that. We said he was the Father because of what we got from his sons. When I say that, the wisdom of the law came through his sons to us, to all of you. That's how y'all know what y'all know. You see, the Father equality was born when his physical degree came in. Let's look at that. Okay? Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. What do we want? Quality. See what I'm saying? You got to be able to show and prove all that. You got to be able to show and prove it. It's not just being like, oh yeah, 1928. No, you got to be able to understand, show and prove. And he was on time. You see what I'm saying? All this coincide and go together. Now, a lost prophet, physical degree days today. Okay? A lost prophet, physical degree days today. Again, wisdom equality. Here we are again. Building. You see? If you don't know who a lost prophet is Master Farad Muhammad, W.F. Muhammad, Wali Delaney Farad Muhammad, all these different monikers or names that he has. That's a lost prophet. And those that know 120, all you got to do is go to your understanding born degree. Allah changed that degree, in case you already know. He changed 6 of them, but he changed that one for the reason that I'm saying. You might hear a lot of older guys still quote that degree and say, you know, yes, I fast and pray to our prophet, W.D. Farad. But Allah changed it to, I fast and pray Allah. He changed it to that. Don't take me on face value. I always tell you that. Prove me wrong. But I know you can't. All right? I know you can't. Because I got it from the 50 bricks. Some of them ain't in it, some of them are gone. See, again, father equality is born. You know what I'm saying? The equality that your father born, you can't get to it unless you know your 1 to 9, the supreme mathematics. You can't get to it. This is not a game. We're right on the supreme mathematics right now. How can you get to equality? You know how you got to get to equality? You got to have knowledge, wisdom, understanding. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you ain't going to get equality. And equality is kind of funny. You know why? Because it's 2 equality. The good equality and the bad equality. You see what I'm saying? So I need y'all to really understand that. When you deal with the science of equality, and guess what? I said what? Came through the wisdom of Allah. Equality on what? Wisdom. You see, a lot of guys on earth say, oh, nah, I don't want to agree. How can you? You can't make it complete. You can't make it complete. You see, you can't make it complete. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. You can't make that complete. Because guess what? If you go from knowledge to born and born back to knowledge, you still got to add knowledge on. Now, how do I know that? The birth of this nation came on the knowledge that is cipher today. And what was told to me, word of mouth, from some of the 50 greats, like I said, some of the first born, I'm going to name one because we're dealing with the science of Mecca today. All right? We're dealing with the science of Mecca. He told me. You know what I'm saying? That God told me he was one of the last that the law taught. He told me straight up and down, God. He said, if somebody told me that, you know, 1964, he said, you know, October 10th, he said that's when the law made knowledge out of sight because that's when he met the firstborn prince, his 3rd son. Again, don't take me on face value. Go check it out. Trust and believe. What I'm telling you, actual fact. What is an actual fact? Anything that can't be proven wrong. That's an actual fact. So moving right along, as we go, you know, and I'm going to mess with one of my brothers right now. Who numbers this, God? Who numbers this? Who numbers this? See, when I come in, I come to do things. Yeah, no doubt. And what this number is. Understand what? That's right. And who number is this? You don't know? Allah number. Don't forget it. That's one of them. See? A few parliaments ago, I was up here and I told you I'm about my father's business. I really am. You can ask my queen over there. I'm really am. I don't play. Everything I do it according to mathematics. Everything you can think about. Slavery, quality unknown. Just the cipher born. Raising my grandchildren. I got God in them. You know what I'm saying? I got God in them. You know what I'm saying? But the love that I have for this nation and the love that I have just for Allah changing my life. the type of lifestyle that I used to live, man, I mean, it was kind of beyond savage, but you know, I'm thankful for these teachings, and I'm thankful for all the gods on earth that I've met along the way. Some of you sitting right out here, you know, keep me on track. And I came a long way, and I have to say, you have to get the understanding of it all. I can't give it to you. The lost star can't give it to you. The earth can't give it to you. You have to get your own understanding. Because that's what makes your understanding understood.
We make
we
it.
go again. We back at equality.
Sharif, come on.
With mathematics, we can travel the boundless universe. We can really travel the boundless universe. So don't doubt yourself. You know? And I'm going to share something with y'all. I ain't going to touch on it too much because the God is going to touch on it. My big brother Sabu back there, he let me read an article in the paper that our brother Colleen was building on. And he got it back there. And he said in that article, you know, one of them things was, you know, we got to watch people get up there and say they want to turn down law school or they want to come with a different agenda and stuff like that. Because guess what? If you make what you own what you make. He ain't say that, that's my emphasis. But inside the article, what happened was, he was saying, why would we go to Community Board 10 and tell them that, yeah, basically we don't know who owns. We own that school, all right? Y'all don't listen to all that other stuff about this and that. Because something can't be found, remember, the wisdom culture degree, here we go again, back in equality. The wisdom culture degree, you know what I'm saying, the supreme alphabet is what? Unknown. And who had the power to find out that which is unknown? Allah, right? Allah, right? And how do we do that? What makes us so great as a nation? Because guess what? I don't know it, the born black know it. The born black don't know it, original magnetic know it. If he don't know it, you know what I'm saying? The earth might know it. Or one of our babies. That's what makes us great. You know? On the topic of Allah. You know, his right-hand man. You know, his right-hand man, you know, foresight for our God, Justice C, Jesus Christ, these was all his names, Jimmy Jam, you know what I'm saying? You know, get into your history, and you will understand and know all this that I'm talking about. It's one thing that he said when the person told him, that's a law. He said, no, I'm not a law, I'm a law man. I'm his man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going there because you gotta understand something. The way a lot of us break down Allah as the arm, leg, arm, head supreme, Allah used to do it just like that. He used to break it down like that, but he also had another way he did it. You know? He also used to break it down, Allah, leave, hell, he Allah, Allah, he, Allah. Now you go backwards, either way, it's still spelling Allah. But what he's talking about when he broke it down like that is when they deemed him crazy. Alright? He said the judge Francis X. O'Brien sent him to Bellevue. From Bellevue he went to Malamar. You know the whole beauty of the whole thing is that when he came out, they certified and his name was Allah. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta understand all these things. You gotta really understand these things. It's not just quoting lessons, you know what I'm saying? You gotta remember also, supreme mathematics and supreme alphabets is the key to the lessons and the key that unlocks the universe. And when you doubt that, you doubt you yourself. There you go. You doubt yourself. And guess what? You know what Allah told Allah be? Son, the only one that can doubt you or tell you that you ain't God is you. Now, I'm going because I talked to the 50 greats, so you're going to hear me mention a lot of stuff that they told me right now. So pay attention and put it in your Rolodex. All right? And then, you got my great brother Dumar, where he did. You know, he told me right there in the law school yard and told me, he was like, listen, he said, you're going to see a lot of brothers come and say they walk with Allah and things of that nature. He said, don't never take none of them on face value because you know if they walk with Allah. He said, because Allah told me and Big Sincere from the demon. Sincere I'm talking about of the first door. He's the only God in his name with 3 vowels in it. Alright? He don't spell it with an I, he spell it with 3 E's. Okay, in case you didn't know. But what he told them was this right here. He said, son, just remember that the first is the last, and the last is the first. And the Father and Son is one and the same. Alright? So when my brothers get up here and be saying stuff like, oh, you wasn't around Allah, don't speak about Allah. That's a damn lie. Because guess what? The Father and Son one and the same, and I see his wisdom through you, and I see Allah. And to top it off, the main thing he told them, if you ever want to see me, look what you're doing. Come together as one. So don't tell me I don't see Allah. Because I wasn't born in no time. And I want all this to stick with you. Don't let nobody never tell you. I don't care who it is. Don't never let them tell you. Every time you see the black man, you're looking at God. And who is God? Ain't God Allah? The ones with the proper knowledge of self, God is Allah. That's why you always would hear me say, Allah's 5%. Not a regular 5%, because everybody will be 5%. They look like you and I. You know what I'm saying? But anybody can't be Allah's 5%. That's the big difference. Allah's 5% got the self-styled wisdom through their own understanding that comes out. And in the end, the understanding will be just like Allah. And with that, I'm going to say peace to you all.
Before who's the next thing to speak on, everyone know, man, to please support the 5% newspaper. Right? That is our national paper. Right? So who is in the back, please support the 5%. Peace to all.
Okay, my name is Rasheen. Welcome to the Universal Parliament. You come back to the table. Anyone who has something to say, you allowed to say it here. It's right in the back. Time is a measurement from one point to another. It's not on the clock, but we want to move things efficiently. Meaning that we 5%. So, we go speak, we some people. Like Dumar said, I'm not long-winded, I got to think long. So we got a lot going on today. We got, there's a speech going on, we're trying to set that up, and there's other presentations going on. I'm not minimizing what you have to say, right? But we just want to, that's what y'all want. Thank you. That's right. That's my brother. Right? History, Master Rasheen, right? My man. Warrior, teacher, historian to the third right. Right? I can see that in you, right? Now, let me say this here. Get back to the point. Allah said, right, I don't want to cliche it. If you want to see me, yes, all you have to do is come together. Why? One, we're going to dispel the myth. There'll be no you worshiping me. And if you want to see me, all you have to do is come together. All you have to do is come together. Right? We need to be in all our houses together, not divided. All right? Let me say something to you. I told my brothers this, so I don't talk behind nobody back here. And I'm not here to cause contention or nothing. I'm here to bring good vibes. But everything in your life has to be done. Okay, I need to say this again. Everything, you're 5%, a large 5%, has to be done from 1 to 9. That's my favorite thing. Whether you're proficient in quoting your lessons, whether you can or can't. And remember, it has to be from 1 to 9. Why? Because the God was saying, I'm reiterating some things Shah Bowen said. That because you can't tell me about an idea, manifest the idea, then bring it to me. We're a nation. You do nothing without the consent. Yes, we're about progression, we're about movement. Yes, we are. Yeah, we're about taking things, well, not just, oh, let me twiddle myself, I can't do this unless they, no, but you have to be objective. You just can't do things and then come to me later and say, this is what I'm doing, peace. Why? Because one, I didn't put it on the table. Two, things wasn't looked at objectively. You raise my hand. Let me say this to you. I had to put so many things on the back burner and do them over more than some people were successful. That came to my lessons and everything else. Right? And why did that? Okay, because I put the two before the one. Yeah, I did. But sit up here and beat you in the head with how great I am great, but these are things I had to go through in order for me to be great. See, wisdom is not just the wise words that the wise man and woman lives or speaks. It's the life that you live. That's what makes you wise. You look back at some of the things you went through, right? And that's some of the brothers he named. Now, let me say this to you. Move on. So Allah comes to us and now we're born equality to people. We get to school and now we're born equality God. Why do we get to school? Because they ask him, what do you want for what do you want? I need school for my children. So we get it to Urban League Street Academy. And we move and we develop and we do what we need to do with that school. Right? And that's the national headquarters. Got my brother Universal Peace God, part of our history that held it down there. When our two bars was talking, he didn't mention him, but he was there. Him talking strong about that. Well, these were brothers who were in the trenches, like the rest of you. Right? Well, we have to protect the school, man, and protect what we teach. Also, yeah, Robinson quotes his lesson. He quotes his lesson and he lives it out. That's the three things you're going to do as a 5%. You're going to retain this knowledge, meaning impeccably, you need to be able to quote from the first degree in the supreme mathematics to the last degree in sober practice. Right, exactly. Why? Because you're going to need eternal knowledge to digest that. That's what's going to get things going. I keep saying that, I don't need to be redundant. I understood from my understanding what God said. I understood what understanding meant when they told me this. Sorry, I need to be dramatic. Lock it! Okay. And I certainly knew God was well up there, not himself. You understand the degree now, don't you? I quoted it many times. You understand it now. Because the law said, don't go to prison. Don't go to jail. God manifests. Right? They'll go to school. Right? And since that is the case, here goes the deal. This is why I become successful, because I hang with the successful. I'm God hanging the creeps. So I get creeds that come to me. Let me handle it unique, universal. Huh? Let me take my notepad and let me find out. That's not what Allah prescribed for us to do. No, we're a beautiful nation. I'm not up here browbeating nobody. But make no mistake either. On this father born on. Right? He was born on what day? Right. What's that in the alphabet? Right. Then they write victory. And that's what we need to be. I'm not saying need to be, I'm not saying that we're not, but we always have to strive to be that. And how we gonna stop it? You have to go through something. You the true and living God, you will go through true and living circumstances. Almighty God himself went through that. Just merely making knowledge born to the youth. They say, not only is he disturbing the youth, disturbing the peace, he's endangering the welfare of these minds. I met the doctor that interviewed him. His name is Sweeney. And I met this white man that I'm not, ain't no history, I'm in downstate, 1984. They did their witness to him in that history. And he only went there because he was teaching the truth. He didn't go there because he was committing crimes. God said, we understand the black man's God and the white man's the devil, but I ain't here to turn you to Haitian, son. We anti-devil before record. When the enemy comes, it's not going to be somebody you don't know. It's not going to be somebody you don't know. And I ain't here to cause paranoia. It's going to be someone you know. But what means on the contrary, right? We understand that everything is subjective to show and prove. That's what makes 5%. You just can't come among the 5%, the true living. See, the brothers come to me and say, yo, Cozy Man, or lost your mom, but they be acting kind of funny. Why is that? Oh, you feel the heat in the sun? And they touch you? Yeah, you need to keep it moving then. Yeah. You getting upset about it. Right. You get upset about that? We ain't even going through nothing yet. Wow. But we're here, God. We're here, God's earth. And if you're here for the first time, peace to you, right? But make no mistake, man, we got to keep our hands up. And I mean that not only externally, but internally. And what do I mean by that? Listen to me. I tell Beloved, I tell Rasheen, I tell all of them, teach their idea. But everything has to be done from 1 to 9. That's my school. I don't need the white man, ain't no city. Why is that mine? Check this one out. Listen to me very carefully. If I can move the clue myself. If I ain't saying nothing else to you. Yes, God. Who is the original man? The original man, the age out of black man, who's making his own queen of the planet, the father of civilization, the God of the universe. We have our queens in that green too, not women. Why? I'm talking about the universe. The sun, moon, star. Man, moon, star. You can't talk about the man without talking about the family. Let me say that too now. Moving on, right? I'm saying that nobody wanted to lock on either side. The building 2122 is out. They gave him that. Gave us the lady gave the beauty parlor to the school. They take that. Took that too. So we're building. Give me that. Take that. That's part of it. No one, no city, no businessman, no one wanted this, no one wanted, neither did they bid for that land. So, because you took ownership and took care of it, that's yours by adverse possession. That's your land. Tell me about no deed. They gave it to Allah, and the law said, once they come together, that's your school, that's my property. Yeah, it's about improvement. I know there's some black lady. You go, what do you mean by that? Because that's my school. I don't need no one to tell me anything else. And if I want to get something done here, right? If I have an idea that's paramountly, meaning greatly important to this nation, I just can't act on it. Commit to the idea, then come back and tell you. Right, because I need to knowledge your business. Hey God, this white foundation, yo God, now, according to this, God, you make one do this. You know, now it's right. There's been many ideas. It don't mean that you negatively part. It just means that you need to revamp that idea. That's all that is. And I'm not speaking bad or tarnishing nobody. I'm talking about we move on. Everything has to be done right and exact. And And we here, we doing we gotta do, God. Okay, I'm not gonna get up here, I'm not browbeating you, man. You're some beautiful people, who got beautiful faces. I'm not up here to talk for 3 hours, talking about you ain't nothing, you ain't got nothing, and look at this here, that's why you ain't got this, and it's not me doing that. You have a right. As you protect your body, you protect your mind. You sitting here, I'm telling you, you sitting in here, right? And someone is saying something, man, that you know is borderline stick and pin. Yo, my man, the peace queen, I ain't doing that. No, you're not letting that go. This ain't church, this ain't no amen. Because you sound good. That's right.
With the camera. Oh,
I mean, that's good.
I ain't even see it, dog. How could you not see? Please, God.
But it's about being right and exact. We got celebrities. Look at the celebrity in the back of the crown. Big deal, man.
Peace.
Yeah, right. So I'm gonna conclude off that. I said, because the next person needs to get up here and speak. We need to move on. Peace, you're beautiful. Study your lesson. Lessons are a blessing. They keep you from guessing, right? Internalize that and live in the core, right? Never let protect your mind, you protect your body, right? Protect your mind, you protect your body, man. And if you in this cycle and you sit next to somebody you know, get to know them. Not get to knowledge means to know. Get to know the people around you. That's the key.
All right, family, the next speaker is going to be original, but I just want to say one thing. Welcome to everyone. We are honored by your presence here on this great day. Yes, it is Farad's birthday today, but we're here to celebrate the life and legacy of the law, right? There are going to be some things that you probably saw. You didn't get ready to set up for the video. You have to do a few more things. But we're going to keep moving. And divine principles all the time, but it's not about me. It's about the goodness of our nation. And those that never had the opportunity to build, provide the venue for them to do it. We're a great nation, and there's no one bigger or better than the next one here. And saying all that, please support the 5% newspaper, original law. Peace.
Absence of confusion. That's what I always want to do that on a daily basis. Quite a few people actually see me online, on Facebook, and I always talk about the 5 P's. Peace, positive, productive, prosperous, and progress. And the reason why I mentioned about those 5 P's, if you're saying who you are and you're not continuously doing the same things that you're saying, it doesn't even matter. It can sound very good. Just because it sounds good, where you going? It's about moving forward. It's always about moving forward. I love that I actually come over here. I don't talk too much. I like to listen. Everybody know what knowledge is. One of the things is listen. Because if you ain't listening, how you going to be able to pay attention to? Because you want to already say something. I don't remember which God mentioned about it. They doing wisdom before knowledge. What's going to actually happen? A misunderstanding and misunderstood. We deal with understanding, understood. Because what? It's equality to be on the same page at any given time. Anybody can be, even me, can be, what's the word that I'm looking for? If they actually have a question, every question has an answer. I may not know. He may know. He may know. She may know. But it's always going to be an answer. And you're going to actually get the solution if you're listening from the beginning. I know it's quite a few people that actually want to build. I just want to get on and build for a second. Peace.
Okay, law of life. Is the law of life here? All right, well, we're going to keep it moving. Queen Ashley. Hey!
I say peace to everybody. I was born in Piedmont, November 4th, stayed here before he got assassinated. Right now I'm a single dominant. He's in a law school out there. There used to be a law by six-phase mathematics. Six-phase mathematics is wisdom, equality, all these born to build and destroy. Wisdom is one's raising actions in oneself. Okay? I see wisdom also to be wise, to wise your dome, from unawareness to self-awareness. I see wisdom as not being the black woman, but it's symbolic to the black woman. Okay? Equality is to be equal with everything in life. Right? I also see equality that I would want to show for my brothers and sisters, what I would want to see for myself, and I want to see also. Okay? All being want to build is destroy. Build is to add on to the cycle, and destroy is to demolish everything negative around the truth square. Peace.
Imperial King, love Allah. I love Allah. Yes. Peace, God.
The reason why I'm happy to be here to build my faith today is because God earlier was building on something that was important to me. But before I go into that, what I wanted to say was the last time I had the opportunity to build at the farm, after I built, I personally felt like I was attacked. But I'm a grown man, so I wasn't worried about that. And I apologize for interrupting the apology because I had known myself now for 35 years. And so, from the point where I used to set up chairs and wait for Parliament to begin and have gods and earths come and into that Parliament to be at that Parliament that day and have the God stab me had, I guess, affected me emotionally. The most important thing about what I was saying ends up being this. My brothers, older guys, I'll put it to you better, older guys that know me personally built with me. They built with me individually. Who they are does not matter. I didn't acknowledge what the guys were saying each time I built with the individual guy. And then I processed it and came with an understanding. Before I go into that, what I'm saying is that what the God said earlier is that the guys that are present need to get to know each other better. And that's important. Because it goes back to what I just said. God individually came to me and built with me individually about what? About the fact that what was being discussed about what was going to happen to my school, they did not appreciate or approve whatever word you want to choose from which God. Therefore, again, like I said, I processed and I gained understanding, and then it became time for me to build. Therefore, what I'm saying now is that, like I already said, I'm not concerned about what the guy said afterwards. What I'm more concerned about is the fact that I had to build in the first place, which goes into the fact that the guy said that the guys that are mostly older than me, because those are the guys that were building with me, need to build with each other more. And if you heard what I said that day, I said that. I said, this guy, that guy, the other guy, the other guy, the other guy, need to be spoken to.
What's your point, bro? What's your point?
Wow.
What's your point?
Thank you. So, thanks for interrupting me, guys. The point is that, like you should, guys, you should get to know me and you should get to know your other brother. My point is that, okay, God, I'm glad you asked. My point is that during that Parliament, I had spoken and interrupted the Parliament, similar to what the God did just now. My point is that guys need to get to know each other better before they make moves. The God said just a second ago something about the school. This is an alignment with what the God is saying. That's what I'm building about, guys. And so what I'm saying is that I'm not to be disparaged because I'm the Imperial King. I love the God. That's who I am. But I will step to the table and build for my older brothers that seem not to be able to build with each other, and I'll say it for them. So therefore, what I'm saying now is that day it was asked, is there a better plan as opposed to what the guy was talking about? And I responded that day, yes, there is. And I had laid out what that plan was, and it was even mentioned again today. What that plan is those guys that are older, because I'll do it myself, but the guys that are older than me get together, coalesce, form an understanding. And so then from that root, it can grow or actually it can flow down, whichever way you want to look at it. Other than that, long family have a better day, hope you have a better understanding of who I am. And
How old are you?
me?
Yes.
Take the test, guy. Okay, guy, I'm Coach of Power, guy. Yes, guy, I'm about to look a lot younger than you. Easy, guy.
Next speaker is Lord tonight.
Peace. To begin, I just like to say peace to the God. Peace to the baby. Many times I had the opportunity to come to the hill, I just always want to give appreciation because when I hear a lot of the God's building, a lot of God's come up here, they talk about things that's important to them, but I don't think they remember the privilege it is to be part of it. I was in the female system for ample amount of years in plantations that never heard of the nation of God on earth. And I used to come there and try to advocate for some of the guys that the same thing was did. And I was like, well, give your name, I'm going to the chapel, I'm going to talk to them, I'm just previous in, none of them was registered. And I was feeling stupid. And at the time, 30 years being away from the nation, God was calling it, he wasn't having a faith. And I missed that. And now I come home after ample amount of years, 2019, I returned to the free cycle. And I've been part of the school since then. I've been building since then. But it's always been about appreciation. When I kept up the little bills, I kept saying, I want to go to God come back. I want to see how it used to be when we used to be standing in the streets and everybody seeing the dogs on the train. I know that time passed, but it still could be possible. It still could be possible because that's what we do. We see and heard everywhere. We're not mystery. We show and prove. I miss my family. I didn't have the opportunity of staying to see this. I miss this. I really appreciate this. This is a privilege to be part of this. I can be part of anything. Look how many dudes is falling to the wayside. Look how many dudes in gangs or whatever it is, or clubs, etc. This is a privilege to be part of the nation of God. This is a privilege for the Father to come and say that He is God, the black man is God. Who was saying that before him? Nobody. This is a privilege, and brothers keep forgetting that we come up here thinking about certain things that really don't have nothing to do with nothing. We supposed to have love for each other. This is a nation for all of us. We are a family. I love y'all. I need to see this. I just want to always come up here and say I appreciate to be around y'all. I had all of the elder gods come and tell about what they did. I appreciate what y'all did. Because if it wasn't for that, we probably wouldn't be where we are now. But everything has a time and a place. And it brings focus to the same existence right now. I love hearing the God too, but I appreciate all of us being together. I just want y'all to know that I'm big.
Long life, everyone. Peace, God.
Came back to marriage to live with God. What year was that? The year 1964. The Lord made this nation born. He's born the 5% nation, man. You know, and y'all were saying something. And I'm looking at these empty chairs. And I remember that in my year one, which was 72.
Put it up, please.
When these chairs was crowded, and we ain't had nothing but standing room. And every time we opened up the parliament, it was opened up with their light. How many of y'all know their light? Raise your hand. How many of y'all know their light? Y'all have to see their light. That's what I want. I want to hear their light. Please, oh my God, Allah injustice, oh Allah injustice, please, oh my God, Allah injustice, oh Allah injustice. things back so they can see the power of a lost truth. Muslims call this Savior's Day. Wisdom cross. But we know who's the real Savior, right? God gave us this in 1964. For the Father said it, strong, wise, civilized, upright, perfect people on the square. And we don't talk about nobody. We talk about ourselves. That's the truth. You gotta bring it back. Ain't no big eyes in you. There's only one God who most glorious and prophet's name is who? Allah. Word is God. So, this recording shows me what day, what time that I'm living in right now. You know that they call recycling, renewing, transition. Yeah, we're going through all that right now. We're going through transition. We got all types of things going on, ideas, thoughts. So let me say this, right? Allah gave us the mathematical blueprint. That blueprint was the pretty mathematics book. But let me tell you about what his son did. Particularly, knowledge and all, A-ball mathematics, and University of Shannon. They gave us our mark. Brothers don't realize it or not. How many people y'all know that got paid off their life? And how many of y'all know what that song was written for? That was a going away song for Allah when he got assassinated. Yeah, that was a funeral song. Yeah. That was a funeral song. And how many people got paid off that song? How many people got paid off of that flag we win? You gotta think about it. Allah gave us the blueprint. 3 of my brothers gave us the mark. Out of us there, ran crazy. Ain't written nothing back. That's why I tell you this here. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I can't talk about the life of me. If I can smoke the bond every day, I can put money up to get my father's house. I don't know about nobody else. I know about me. They talk about plans, get good plans, to build around that school. And I'm all with them. Got to care. Only thing I ain't with, going through these cocaine with the one I can't hear. We can do what I got there. All we gotta do is come together. Right. I said if you want to see me, all you gotta do is what? All we gotta do is come together. And stop the bickering among each other. Bickering don't get nothing done. All bickering do have things going. Maybe better what? Real talk, man. Yeah. Going on 60 years. As a nation. I've been here myself. 52. time for us to just say right and exact. But you just be right, and that's cool. But right and exact, that. Right and exact, there's no error. Right and exact, there's no doubt. One more question. How many of y'all believe y'all God? Raise your hand. Y'all be with me. How many believe you God?
I know I'm God.
That was a trick question. Everything is real. But you got some people that believe in shit. Some people believe in it. Instead of knowing, with knowledge means what is going on. So we're going to take belief, making all the rest of that shit. Figure out what it is. Because the truth is the power, and that's what really sets you free. But you have to know the truth within yourself. Hashtag it's all the truth. If you're looking for anybody to validate who you is, sorry, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. God was the father said this in 1964. It's a long time, y'all.
We got a long way
We got a long way
to go.
to go.
Long way to go.
We ain't even scratching the surface. But it's beautiful. Because we see where we're going. We see where we've been. We see where we at right now. Because we got to deal with it here and now. Yesterday, gone, but it got history. And history requires you better research. So you can prepare yourself for the future. Mathematics, dude. One thing I'm going to say before I leave. Supreme mathematics don't lie. People. So, if you ain't going to course with supreme mathematics, watch people listen. Laws of God.
All right, people, man, before the next speaker, I just want to drop a real quick. Thank you for showing up. It's been a long time since, we have a venue like this. And we intend to keep it going. There's people back there that God cannot die. Right? And our next speaker is, I'm not pronouncing right, Merciful by, well, he can't do it. He can't introduce himself.
I'm Merciful Messiah. This is a beautiful day for me because I'm no longer resident in Mecca and Geelong and New York City area. You know, it was like sea. It's dropped. You understand? We just dropped all over the place. You know? And I just want to share this wisdom equality day, right? About my experience growing up in this nation, right here in New York City, and where it took me. See, because I grew up in the Nation of Islam. I grew up in the temple. My father was in the temple, my mom was in the temple. We grew up down there 116th Street in the temple. Okay? 60-something, Minister Malcolm left. My pops was real close with Minister Malcolm, so he left out with Minister Malcolm. Mom, she just left. Ironically, when the father left. So there was a beef, a strife going on in my household as to which discipline we was going to take root with. Minister Malcolm was assassinated and put while in the town. And I remember my father going from the FOI uniform, the bars and all that stuff, you know, to the next time I see him, he had on this dashiki with the beard and okay, African thing. And he came to the house one day after Minister Malcolm got assassinated and told my whole work, right in 136 between 1967. said, D, I'm going back to school. That, going back to college? Cool. Where you going? NYU, you know, Florida, what? Berkeley. Oh, she went, you coward, punk, you mount with a sack door, running there with these babies. And you took off to a whole other part of the country. The next time I see this man, he got on black jacket, black glove, black tan, black glasses, black pants, black boots, all about it. You went out here to Berkeley University, man, and you and Bobby and them cats. You come back, you started the Bronx chapter. The Black Panther Party for self-defense on Southern Boulevard. They wiped them out, though, because they said they were going to blow up the Bronx. This was their reason for killing all of them. They were going to blow up the Bronx Botanical Garden. See, the Bronx Botanical Garden, they want to blow up to make a political escape. But that was the era of assassination. That was the era of wiping out. That was the era of trying to crush the seeds that was sowed in the ground. But what they fail to realize is that when you plant seeds, they're going to grow. You give them a little water and enough light. So we flourish and we grew. The next thing I remember growing up was being 10 years old, down the second degree, and being told, as my pops went to his little Black Panther headquarters down on 25th Street, he would drop me off right there on 50th Street, just open up. Going in, and I'm looking and I'm listening, and I'm saying, it sounds like we're shining in the temple, but the transition from the nation of Islam to the nation of 5%, the transition of going to school, because after that they took us out of the ABCs, Islam took us out of the temple and sent us to public school. Here's 175, here's 92, right? Here's 100, 139. IS-10, all of these different schools, they said, well, we wear bow ties, ball heads. Things are snatching, bow ties, all slapping the head. We were told we couldn't react. The prophet said, no. Send them back to Mecca. I remember glad to take that bow tie off. But then we were told, just like the Muslim was told, fight. If they attack you, fight. Defend yourself. And I remember being in the backyard of the school, or being in the front door looking back, and you could look straight into the backyard and brother would run, get out of here! Like, oh, wait, I don't know. Go ahead, and they told, go on in, son. I remember sitting in the fish and chip spot, or going to PS92 after school set, going upstairs and playing basketball and sneaking upstairs to the classroom, taking the chalk, crunch the chalk up. Put a little bit on the lips, make it look like ash. Stand in front of the chicken and fish and chip spot. That's just like it's cold and my mother cooked pumpkin and I'm hungry. Feed the baby! That was our hustle. That was our stand. And you know, and the herbs insisted, they come, y'all better feed them, baby. Oh! So we get our little fish and chip dinner, there's that. But while you eating, you're gonna get taught. So the signs was being passed on. Right? I remember sitting there, and my man Justin Lye sitting there, and he said, you see that thing good job? I said, yeah. Yeah, man, first bomb black with fire. He said, knowledge seed like it. You know what a knowledge seed is? I don't know. And he showed me, and he explained all this to me, and he said, your name is merciful. From now on, your name will be merciful Messiah. So you'll not see like that. But he said it's not going to be MESSIAH. He said that was Jesus. He was the slave. Let's say it now. Because it's M-I, S-I-Y, it's Messiah, the revival. Revival? What? I didn't understand that. 10, 11, 12 years old. Being up in Speedlong. Right? Going back, what? We saw it up there. The blacksmith, everything was up there. And we went to war. Bombs, the sound, PS-127, all that up there. Even Clinton High School, law freedom, teaching us the arts. All of this was my growing up in the nation. And when I left from here to walk across that bridge and get the Mitchell Project, I had to call over there and let somebody in Pelon know I was coming to Pelon. When I got to Brownsville, I had to let somebody know I was in Brownsville. You understand? When I got to E1 Projects, I had to let Lord DeMello and them know I was up there. When I got to Davidson, Jamal, I'm here. Basically, I'm here. You know, we had to let everybody know where we was at. When I went to Medina, and I used to hate to go to Medina. I love Medina, but I couldn't stand going out there to Red Hill Projects in the wintertime. It was cold as hell. I sit at the plastic came on in there. Growing up in the nation, it was a beautiful thing. I remember coming from 8th Avenue, up there on 8th Avenue fighting, having a little flag on, and these cats, they jumping on me. And his sister come out the subway station with his long gun, and back then we had the little ambulance, they used to call them little ambulance, called Mecca. Remember that? Sister come out the subway station with the long gun on, and she saw the flag and she went to work. When the cats are breaking them down, ooh, what's her name? Agent me. Okay. I like her style, sis. So, and it was, I remember the first show in Peru. He told us, out there, King, you got to pay. Agent me, the sister, my man, let them babies in. It's about save the baby. Save the baby. I remember going to Harlem Youth Action Corps. I remember being sent up there to join the cadet corps because we was learning military tactics. I remember out there in Morocco, Leroy Jones had that. They tried to make the father with him and saying it was communism and stuff like that. These are the blessings that we got. I remember running away from school. I'm going to wrap it up. Running away from school. Running away from home because I didn't want to do this. I went to law school. Sabu was caretaking that. Wake me up early in the morning. I got to sweep, mop, clean the window, they put the lessons on the board, and they go to school. I should have stayed home for this. But that was the beauty of growing up in the nation. After that, Arizona State University, after the penitentiary, first sad, but true. After the penitentiary, Arizona State University, SUNY Albany. I've been at Albany since 1979. We've been building up there. We put politicians in office. We got the young guard, we got Father Shine, we got guard, we put them in office. That's what we do. Right now, the thing that hurts me is that the brother that intelligence got here. I just want to law something against the common person. Not last year, not even before last year, long time ago. How many representatives you got going in the But it hurts me that I spoke to a brother the last time I came down to the last parliament at one of these correctional facilities, and he didn't know a lot. He had to turn to that. What? Where's that representation at? What are we doing? And the thing that's beautiful is that we've been walking into regions now. I like that. Because see, in my region, if I got a prison in my region, cat shack, county shack, guess what? I'm going in there and I ain't got shit with the council to tell me I can't go in there. Because sometimes, you know, we say a lot of things, but words without action is the death of another generation. Let's keep on building. Let's be magnetic energy, not stagnant. Peace.
Peace. Family, peace. So we've got to keep this program going. And for those that were sitting in the street next, our apologies, but we have to do this video. And there's time later on. After the video, there will be nation's business, and if there's time after that, because we're serving dinner at 5:30. Right? If there's time after that, we'll move it on. Thanks for showing the video, and after that, we're going into nation's business. Thank you. It's about 10, 15 minutes, right?
Giving them the tools that would guide them on the path of righteousness and civilization. Born Clarence Edward Smith on Wednesday, February 22nd, 1928, in Danville, Virginia, during the time of Jim Crow racial segregation. He was the fifth son of Louis and Mary Smith. He was nicknamed Put as a baby. which stuck with him throughout his childhood. Although he lived in segregation, him and his family never minded not being amongst white folks and enjoyed life amongst their own people, having been raised with a down sense of values, convictions, wisdom, and awareness. In 1946, he came to New York to join his mother and his brother, who came to Harlem prior, looking for employment. Once in New York, the nickname Hood that he was given as a child was mistaken as Puddin', and this became his new nickname. During the same year, he met Berlin Jowers, then would go on to have two sons in 1939 and 1951. He later married another woman named Dora and had 4 children. In 1950, he joined the United States Army and went to fight in the Korean War. He just missed being killed several times, making it out of that war as a decorated soldier with a high and prestigious award for his outstanding service record. During his time in Korea, his wife Dora had joined the Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Upon his return from Korea, he joined Temple No. 7 in Harlem under Minister Malcolm X. Once in the temple, he was given the name Clarence 13X and began swiftly rising in the ranks of the Nation of Islam, going from elevator operator, then getting promoted to the position of lieutenant, teaching and training the crew of Islam in martial arts, which he had picked up from Korea. In studying his lessons, he became very proficient in them. He developed a self-style of expressing his lessons, in which many called hypnotic due to his speaking style and southern drawl that was unique and specific to him. He was then promoted again to student minister. It is said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad took note of this fire minister and wanted to meet him. During this time, there was some turmoil in the temple, and although the lessons clearly stated the black man is God of the universe, and there is no mystery God, few ministers disagreed with Allah's literal interpretation of these teachings. He decided to leave the temple due to a few differences he had with the Muslims. During the same time period, Malcolm X, with his own set of differences and difficulties, also left the temple. When Allah left Temple No. 7 in 1963, a few other brothers that agreed with the reality of his teachings also left with him. He returned back to the streets of Harlem, where he would manifest and teach the youth in the streets who had not been reached or overlooked by the Muslims and other organizations of the time. The understanding that he gained from observing the lessons that taught the original man is the supreme being, and there is no substance or force in the universe that does not exist within the black man, meaning that there is nothing greater than the black man. He realized that what he had learned applied to himself. He changed the name from Clarence 13X to Allah and began teaching those he came in contact with. And recognizing that most of the older folks were reluctant to change their ways, he focused on the young. Allah and his right-hand man, Justice, developed a system of mathematics as a foundation for his teachings, putting an emphasis on the order of knowledge and wisdom as opposed to wisdom knowledge that was taught in the temple. This system of supreme mathematics are 10 principles, 1 to 9, and a cipher, along with supreme alphabets, which are a system of principles that correspond to the 26 letters of the alphabet, giving the young tools to see things in a mathematical way, giving order to the days of their lives, teaching the young how to live righteously and their relationship to the universe, bringing his teachings to delinquent, disenfranchised youth that society had given up on. With these principles of supreme mathematics and alphabets, Allah taught the meaning of life, their relationship to the community as well as their relationship to the universe, giving them a sense of purpose in life. Allah focused on 9 young men that stood out in the Harlem neighborhood, empowering them with the knowledge of self, knowing that they would spread it to their peers. These first 9 young men came to be known as the firstborn of the 5% nation. Allah became known as the father because he was a father figure in a community full of broken homes, and he could see the farthest, furthering the education of those amongst them. His teachings empowered and motivated these young men to teach others, and soon his knowledge spread to other areas of New York. Harlem became known as Mecca, Brooklyn became known as Medina, with his own set of firstborns. Getting sparked in December of 1964, Queens became known as the desert or the oasis. The Bronx became known as Piedmont, and places outside of New York also got names as the knowledge spread to those areas. In 1964, there was an assassination attempt on Allah, with him being shot with a high-powered rifle in a basement on 127th Street. Although he was hospitalized, the attempt on his life was not fatal, and he continued to teach. A few months later, in May of 1965, he was charged with disorderly conduct after a disturbance was brought about when two police officers attempted to break up the rally he was holding. During the arraignment in court, he told the judge he didn't need a lawyer because he is Allah and couldn't represent himself. A judge in Supreme Court ordered that he be placed in psychiatric custody in Bellevue Hospital due to him proclaiming to be God Allah. He continued to teach the young that came to see him while at Bellevue. They then transferred him to Matterhorn, separating him from his 5% until his 5% got word of where he was. And then they began traveling to visit him in Matterhorn. His nation continued to grow as his teaching spread throughout the state, country, and eventually the world. Those that locked him up called him crazy, yet as time passed, they granted him his own office and telephone to call whoever he wanted. In a time before cell phones, the atmosphere of the time was one of great tension and turmoil between black and white communities. However, Allah taught his nation not to be pro-black or anti-white, yet to be pro-righteous and anti-devilishment, knowing that not every black man is your brother, the same way not every white man is your enemy, yet also teaching that the black man is God, and have a responsibility to teach all human beings on the planet Earth. During this time, there was some confusion as to the difference between the 5% nation and the Nation of Islam, due to similarities in the names and some of the teachings. In 1967, Allah instructed his 5% to change their names from Muslim names to draw their names from the supreme mathematics and alphabets. Allah was very particular at distinguishing his nation from Muslims. He also taught the sisters that the earth is the black woman's twin in nature. Thus the 5% women are called the earth. The black woman is symbolic to the earth in many ways. And the earth is the only planet in our solar system that is capable of reproducing life. An emphasis on teaching the babies is also a core part of the teachings of Allah and his 5%, expressing that the babies are the greatest and the future of our nation. In 1967, they released Allah from Matterhorn and signed his name upon his release as Allah, the same name they called him crazy for using. Upon his release in 1967, the 5% nation held its first universal parliament in Mount Morris Park to welcome him home. He spoke to his growing nation at the first universal parliament, thanking and acknowledging his 5%ers for being strong and continuing to grow in his absence. The mayor of the time, John V. Lindsay, took note of the great work Allah was doing and decided to develop a task force dedicated to building ties with community leaders, with Allah being top priority. Other politicians want to build ties with Allah as well. According to a notable 5%er named God Supreme, who was there sometime in 1967, Allah called the Universal Parliament and invited a few politicians and other community leaders to speak at this parliament. Notable figures like Mayor Lindsay and his assistant Barry Gallagher, Allah had these politicians and community leaders speak and tell the 5% what they had to offer. The mayor gave Allah the Street Academy with a 99-year lease, which opened early that summer of 1967 at 2122 7th Avenue, where it remains to this day. In addition, the mayor gave bus rides and trips to young 5%ers, as well as grants for those who completed Harlem Prep, an educational program to help young adults prepare for college. Pins of the 5% flag were printed and given out, and a host of other things that the mayor's assistant made sure was taken care of and done right. Governor Rockefeller made sure that many of those that paid their debt to society were let go from the penal system. It is said that Mayor Lindsay went into the halls of government advocating for the teachers of Allah and spoke of the great work he was doing in the community. Allah made them honorary 5%ers and gave them the flag. On April 4, 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, sending shock and grief throughout the black communities of America. Allah and His 5% having foresight that 85% of the people will react violently without any consideration of who, what, where, or how to execute their desire for justice. The Lord's teaching, the 5% moved through the crowds of Harlem, reinforcing peace, helping to avert a riot which would have left the community of Harlem in shambles. Allah was recognized, praised, and received media attention for his participation in maintaining order and peace. He continued to receive recognition and praise from Mayor John B. Lindsay for the outstanding job he was doing in providing motivation, educational, and vocational growth, and with the youth of the community. On Friday, June 13, 1969, at the age of 41, Allah was gunned down, shot 7 times in the elevator of Martin Luther King Towers on 112th Street in Harlem. Several of his 5%ers rushed down to the scene of the crime where their father was stricken. On Saturday, June 14, Mayor Lindsay and his aide, Barry Gardner, met with the guards at the Street Academy, expressing their sorrow and grief for what had happened to Allah. The guards spoke about the reason that they loved Allah so much and pledged to continue his work. The funeral was held on Monday afternoon at Unity Funeral Chapel on 8th Avenue and 126th Street. It was a massive event as Harlem bid farewell to the man they affectionately called Puddin'. Although his physical body may have expired, his teachings live on. A period of grief permeated through the 5% nation until 1971, when a group of 5%ers put together an annual event called the Show and Prove in commemoration of Allah and his teachings. To this day, the event takes place every year during the second weekend in June to show and prove Allah lives. His legacy is in his teachings, and the nation that continues to teach his teachings and elevate the lives of those that come in contact with it. It has become a global phenomenon, in part due to hip-hop artists that have laced their music with his teachings. Peace to Allah and his nation of 5%ers for the massive contribution to our history of black.
There's no need to take like sides or this one's right, that one. We're not on that. Let's just take it to the man. We're in season. He said that's the season. You know, we have so many talented gods and earths, you know, and their children that they want that can add on to any project that we want to do. And why I say that and why I'm with that about making business and please, outside conversation, you love to do that outside please. All right, so as I say, it's the mindset, all right, because you have to be present in order to get the present.
have to be present. In order to be present. Okay, so we are on a campaign of renewing our history and coming together in a unified manner to get things done. All right, so that's the mindset that we are appealing to nation citizens, members, however you like to refer to, about this. This is a project dealing with all of us, all right? And we want to keep it that way. So, without further ado, I'm going to give you a little update. Well, we developed what's known as a fact. It's called an FAQ. I'm sure some of y'all are familiar with that. That's just like some facts. Okay? And so you have these facts. So in that way, you have a baseline and a general idea, all right, of what's going on. All right? Now, let's take one little step back. One little step back is this. All right, I'm Tamari, Bilal is involved, Douglas is involved, Rasheen is involved, Black Justice is involved. You know those things. All right? That's 5 of us who got together. Just a common idea about, hey, we see 21, 24. What's supposed to do? All right? This is an add-on to what had already been developed over the past 10, 15 years from working on this. Yet, I want everyone to be clear. We're dealing with the here and now. We spend a lot of time, putting our credibility in front of y'all. Regarding our brother, regarding our intentions of dealing with something as large as this, because we talk about for generations to come. All right? Allah didn't think, but he did it on his own. Right? Now we have an opportunity to work collectively and also get some serious results for generations to come. All right? Because what was done back in the 60s, that was him. He didn't have nobody going to Gracie Mansion and talking to these people and all. He did that on his own. And even some of us, and I've been around since the 70s, right, was anti-politics. And the man never wasn't there. So we have to be mindful sometimes when we're, energized and motivated and we kicking it about stuff. And again, let's take a step back and see if we're really in line with the man's teachings. And check yourself and don't be so far ahead and feel like you were so much of a big eye that you can't check for somebody that's not even here before you. Even at your age, whatever that it may be. Because when I see the audience here, except for a sprinkling, it's a mature audience. Right? Okay. And I'm in that crowd as well. All right? And just one more thing before I get to the nation business. Being in my crowd disciples, I know that I'm vibrant, I'm energized, I work with young people every day, and I'm not on no pills and all that other kind of diabetes, high blood, none of that. All right? And that's rooted in this teachings from very early on. Whatever worlds, and whatever was happening, I know about it, was doing it, pretty much. All right? So this ain't no holy man from Massachusetts before you. You understand? Though I want y'all to be clear. The 60s wasn't kind to a lot of our brothers. All right? And what I mean by that is they left here on some messed up terms, health issues, in many instances preventable diseases. All right? So me, in MPPs now, I'm about the business of showing the God, it's a man conversation, not to exclude women, but I'm talking about men, and the woman is an excellent caretaker. We need to partner up. Help. You know what I'm saying? That's another conversation, though. So, as I'm saying, that as men, we want to show an example of good health and what it looks like to be vibrant in your 60s. Not with a bag, not with pills, not running back and forth, not with canes, and all these other, and these are things that we may have went through in our life journey. All right? You know what I'm saying? We have received the information, we have received the template on what to do and what not to do. You know, people scream about 85 and this and that, and then they eat like people that's supposed to be 85, they eat better than them. And a lot of this stuff, this disease stuff, we think is right, y'all. So I don't want to go too far, but we can have a whole parliament about that. With the screenings and this and all these gods and girls that know all about this healthful living and all that. We need to integrate, just like I said earlier, unify about these things to keep one another living, keep one another healthy. You know what I'm saying? Obesity and all the Negro problems is at our doorstep. We're supposed to clean that up. So, because we talk about fear in somebody, big man and all that. Y'all know the lessons, right? Right? Okay, so therefore, when you move a certain way, low key, you showing fear. If you're not dominating, they lying and you ain't talking. No, you in fear. Oh, damn, I tried to get my credit right, but but we need to do that to move forward with certain things. Now, so here we go. All right. The facts. FAQ. Let's deal with the facts. So it's the 5 brothers that have reached out to the nation. So others are adding on as I speak. All right. So don't take the impression that it's only 5 brothers and they ain't talking to nobody and they making all the decisions. They talk to these people in government and they don't talk to nobody about where they going to ski and all of these things. We're not on that like that. Just bear with me a second, and I know for the interest of time, but it's important that we begin to have this conversation about how we can work together regardless of our past history. You know, we have to be consistent, more involved in terms of they can the same questions. I mentioned about the whole parliament, right? So my thing was, and how she got on about this, but I said, well, you know, if we're going to do all God, then let the sisters go meet somewhere else and the same stuff that we talk about, let them talk about. And then we come back together and see what they said, see what they said, and then let's go eat. All right. At some point, and I know some of y'all might have, at some point,
Peace.
So what I'm saying is that
What up, Sha?
wisdom, knowledge, century. That's what you're looking for. So everything that we're seeing in this day and time, everything that's supposed to be bad is good, and everything that's good is bad. So if we know that the wisdom, knowledge, century is unlike man, then we understand that we need to reverse that polarity. So in this day and time of what's going on in America, society today, women are deeply involved in operations of things because of their skill set. You can't turn a blind eye on that. All right? And I know that there are certain things that was done in the past, and that's the way about going. And he also wanted people to let the sisters wear bathing suits. He got them to start acting up about how his skin was going to be shown and be cut off. So right there, that shows you that he had it. He knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? It's just the people like Shasha used to say to us all the time, he said, a lot of us say, y'all, if you wouldn't be savage. That's what Shasha used to say all the time. Because they were growing. So we we are growing. So we don't have to feel like we got an identity crisis about we let the sisters get up and give input about certain things that they know about. I'm not talking about how to run your household. I'm talking about how they run theirs that's successful. You know, and we have to give that respect. And if you're not comfortable with that, because you see it, then don't let them participate. It's okay. But if you are, then let it be. Because they tried that over there in one of the other little countries, right? And then they say, well, if you don't wear the head wrap and whatnot, you can't come to work. Well, they didn't come to work, and then there was no operations. The country couldn't work. So let us not, you know, be, how you say, not aware of current events. All right? So as we move forward with our dialogue about this here, as we move forward with our dialogue about this, we want to be more and more inclusive. All right, here we go. Now, this is real quick, and I'm going to read this. I want to have it on the screen, and next time we'll do all that. My brothers, they're a little more high tech and all like that, so, you know, they're a little bit better than me, so I can get to it like that. I got to work myself in. Number one, do we have ownership of the land? Answer, no. The New York City Department of Finance is the deed holder to the site. You heard that, right? That's number one. Number two, how do we obtain ownership of the site? Answer, New York City Mayor's office will work with us on the transfer of land to us, provided that our project meets the needs of the community. Well, we always have been meeting the needs of the community, and we're going to continue to do that. But we're going to put together a project and they can see it and they can stand on that.
Right, this camera go. Good.
Number three, what will the project duration be? How long is the project? We're projecting a 2-3-year design period as we get it now, followed by a 2-year construction period. So if we're talking 4 to 5 years, all right? 2 years to get it designed, 2 years to build. All right. Is there number 4? Is there a building project that is already built that we can tour as an example? Yes. The building is on 116th Street. It's known as the Kalahari. All right? But this is kind of like state-of-the-art building. It has a beautiful ground floor, amenity spaces, including a restaurant and theaters that transform into banquet spaces with seats contracting into the wall. This is just an example, like, oh, well, what could, you know, some really nice construction look like? Okay? So that's why that example is good. Will the project create opportunities for young people to get hands-on? This is number 5. On training in design and construction skill trades and jobs. Yes, we will include opportunities for members of the community to receive construction job training skills. And of course, that means us first. We are trying to do as much in-house stuff as possible in terms of participation. Okay? But any of y'all that know involved in contracts and construction, that there is ways to get certain things done, and there's trade-offs and all of that. So our mission will be to definitely be inclusive of family and community. Yeah? We'll see as we move forward. In fact, and that should be for any construction project. You know, the contract should include us. So regardless of the direction, there are certain things that we are kind of putting forth as being the research group, so to speak. 4 or 5, we refer to ourselves, that no matter what the neighborhood or the area, when you're dealing with municipality and things of that nature, that, you know, we, so in dealing with that, we want to make sure that we are inclusive, all right, and that we are developing opportunities for the people that are behind us. All right? We're talking about generations to come. We are talking about young ideas, attitudes, young ladies. Not the people that's really involved. We're just trying to put it together and be able to say, you know, this is what we're working with. Because when you're 60-something years old, 50-something years old, and you still got the forefront of spearheading projects with no young people behind you, that's kind of an imbalance. You know, so we are definitely appealing to everyone here, right? Niece, nephew, sister's kid, own biological, whatever. Young, smart mind, you know, influenced by this knowledge on some level. Bring them. We trying to grow. We trying to grow. You know, we don't need to continue to have the conversation about, oh, well, we about the young, where the young people at. So go in your own home. You know, oh, well, they don't know the whole 120 lessons. So what? You know it, right? Cover them. Show them how it works. You know what I mean? Put it together. You know what I mean? Don't, oh, they wear their jeans. So what? You know, bring them into the consciousness of gay ladies, you know, reforce or whatever. That may not be what they wear. But let us make it open for them. This is the consciousness of the five people that is together. This is what we talk about here. Young people, education, community change, community improvement. All right? So those we see. And then I kind of covered that, but the sixth question was the member of the nation with construction spirit to allow the participation in construction of the building. All right? Where will we get the money to build the building? The project will be financed with traditional finance instruments, including grants, tax credits, and construction loans paid back from the revenue generating residential apartments and commercial space. Okay, this is a big one. This is a big one to swallow, and our education has to increase in terms of us having a clear understanding about what this is about. Okay, because now we're going from a renter's mentality to an owner's mentality, and it's a little different. All right, you know, and when we're going into that ownership, then all responsibility, but you don't have 30, 40 million. So we're going to probably have to use somebody else's money. All right? Or we want to use someone else's money on our terms. And we have to get past the point of, oh, well, we allow the first, you know, we allow 5%, we can make it happen. Right? That's a lot of money, y'all. It is. You know what I mean? And no, we haven't been. And the most important part is that's not how it's done. Right? That's not how it's done. If we had that over there, the divine prince had the key to the safe. All right? Now put nothing on because it's for the sake of the conversation. We don't use all our bread to make a project. We leverage that money. All right? So no, that's not how we want to do it. Yes, we want to raise as much money as we possibly can at some point about this project, yes, to show for our ability to actually deal with a project of this size. But that's coming forward. So this is why we have the facts. So I gave y'all some facts, all right? And I'm gonna, in 2 minutes, I'm gonna say the last thing. And that is this. We also conducted focus groups. And just a quick breakdown of focus groups. That's just like everybody in this area, right? In this auditorium right now. And we just broke it down to this group. They wanted to know about how it is with the board, allow school to Mecca. This group wanted to know about the education and how we can further education for allow school to Mecca. If we're going to develop something and allow school to Mecca, what would the educational component look like? That's this group. And then this group over here was the third group. Ownership, yes, thank you, Black Justice. Yeah, so then the third group is dealing with ownership. and how we have to take the steps to get that done. So what we did is we did a Zoom call. I know everyone is not comfortable with dealing with that technology, but that was part of the pandemic, that we learned from that, and we have benefited from that. And currently, there is no way for us to talk to all the regions at the same time, or different areas of the country all at the same time, and not using the current technology. You know, we're not doing carrier videos or whatever. We're not doing that. All right, so we know that we're dealing with, technology, and we encourage everyone to give it a try. Maybe, get a child or something, or your teenage or younger person in your family, and say, set this up for me. Put this link on Google Calendar so that I can just push it, and I'm going to go right to it. And I don't have to go through all these different things. Engage with your children or grandchildren and tell them to set that up. And then get on the call and hear what's being said. All right? But we're not playing no games. We're dealing with a mathematical order. And we're dealing with best knowers. That's why I got my neck out and I said, yeah, well, we got to get the system more, this and that. They've been saying that, you know what I mean? But everybody ain't willing to always stand up and say stuff about stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to use this platform, which is national, universal, and say it. All right? Because we're dealing with best knowers. And we have some sisters here that stuff would be going on if their input wasn't active, period. In the business world, the finance world, the home front, all different aspects. So, yes, it's important that we begin to embrace that and utilize that to the best of our ability. So, we had those 3 groups. We learned some stuff. In the interest of time, I'm not going to go over all the particular data points that Bilal might want to go over, but we got a general idea of what the nation is thinking. So we want more participants, more nation citizens, more nation members to come forth and participate so we can get an idea of what you think. All right? And we're going to show that we're serious about this because in a hot second, we're going to put up an X amount of dollars that we agreed to put up on and say, yeah, now you see, this is how serious we are. We're putting our money where our mouth is. And when we do that, we are going to expect that all of those that were standing back saying, let's see if this is one of them fly-by-night propaganda kind of things, or this is really real. All right? And we will continue to put forth an effort so that that is clearly understood. That's why I'm up here. That's why Just here. That's why Rasheen is here. Beloved here in Alexandria, Virginia, and Bilal is coming back from upstate New York. So we know where one another is at. Be in communication with one another, and we about bringing this forward in the name of Allah. And that's what I want everyone to be clearly understand about this here. We are not doing this for individual glory, borough, recognition, nothing. We know that Allah gave the all in all for the young, through education, to change the community. And that is our commitment. So we are appealing to all of y'all. And to go back to the people that didn't come today, but you talk to via Facebook, via Instagram, when you go down the street to the bodega or whatever. All right? And say, listen, this is what time it is. We are mobilizing. We are mobilizing. All right? And we are mobilizing for a common cause. This is a promised year. So what's our promise? To work with one another, because we the peace with the magnetic. Didn't we learn that last year? So we the peace with the magnetic, and now we're going into the promise where we build a nation that is a light, not unalike. We build a nation that is a light, Allah teaches. So that means moving forward on all planes about making our stuff better, being more engaged with the community, improving the household, improving yourself, all that. This is a promise year. Not for the other guys' stuff to be built up, for our stuff to be built up. So that's my piece from about nation business in terms of what the 4 or 5 is they, quote unquote call, Rasheen, Black Bells, Tamari, Love It, Bilal, and others. But we are being inclusive. So we agreed that we were going to do that arm, leg, arm, head, and we're going to walk this all the way from knowledge to born, and born back to knowledge. And however it shake out, that's what it's going to be. But we're dealing with the will. We're not dealing with no doubt, no maybe, shoulda, coulda, woulda, none of that. We're dealing with the mathematics. So, again, the appeal is that come on and add on. The information will be shared through some group, some email address, some smoke signal, whatever. When it pop up, add on. Peace.
But this is my first Mecca Parliament since I came home. I did wisdom knowledge inside the belly of the beast. And, it has a lot of stuff to get straight to it, because a lot of stuff is taking place right now. But I want to say everything that I am, everything that I came to be, is all because of Allah. His right-hand man just to see the first noun, the first fruit. That is what made me who I am. And the thing that I emphasize the most is brotherhood. Brotherhood. I hear a lot of older brothers, they will say, well, I don't see the brotherhood that we shared in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s. But I would say, I have that. That type of brotherhood is what I have. That's why you see me right here today standing before you, because I wasn't supposed to be out. I had to fight my way out. They just didn't let me go. They didn't let me go. I had to fight my way out. You know how I got out? The same way my big brother Allah got out. And he's not here, but through the blessing of Almighty God Allah, I was able to spend time with him before he returned to the heavens. And the thing about brotherhood I want to say is, we studied the history. We used the same type of history. Because before I went in, I was teaching. Even though I was in the street, I still was teaching. And because I was teaching, it was my own brotherhood that brought me out. They didn't get me. And so, Allah used to tell me, the nation got me out. He said, the nation got me out. And then he said, God, we're going to get you out. That's what he said. We are going to get you out. And it took years and years and years of fighting. And every step of the way, more brothers were added on. More sisters were added on. More people got involved. And because of Allah, our foundation, that power is shown improvement. And the final piece that came to the equation, my brother Saheem right here. You see what I'm saying? The God Saheem, Dr. Saheem, God, you know what I'm saying? The God Saheem came to my aid. He didn't know me personally. But what we shared was a common brotherhood through who? Almighty God Allah. This God is very conservative. Me, at the time, I was straight grinding street. All the way street. Drugs, robbing, kidnapping, all of those things right there. He came to my aid, a very conservative God, that helped me see some things. Like, wow, I never thought about it like that. And the God said, you know what? I want to be with you.
when you was out there. He was straight up. The guard came to me straight up. I wouldn't have been with you on those streets. And he said, you know why I came to your aid? Because of the older brothers that were involved. Brothers like Allah B. Brothers like Now Allah. Brothers like, it was so many. Some of them not even here now. They physically have expired. I never got to see them out here on this side. So they can share in the victory, but they still here in the mind. So the main, you can resurrect a young child who the worst of them. Because that's who Allah came to according to what they told me. That's right. He came to the worst of them. And sometimes now we turn our back on the worst of them, but that's okay. Because I you understand? So, some of them up in there, I don't know where they at. They went somewhere. And that's how their mind is. Their attention span very short. So to captivate their attention, you got to be coming with the magnetic. You got to be coming with the magnetic constantly creating and providing resources. Because if we don't have the resources for them, and they can go try to get it themselves, the best way they know how, and you can't fault them for that. But it's a beautiful thing to hear about. Oh, we building about this in the school. We building about this advancement. Because it's all about civilization is advancement. How are we going to advance? And to advance, you can't do it separately. You can't do it with, yo, I'm a lost 5%er. No, I'm making God's earth. You can't do it that way. That dilutes the power. That dilutes our power. We can deal with that later. Because it's still something that has to be brought together though. But in the meantime, between time, yo, the devil's civilization up. He's divided right now. When's the last time you seen white boys killing white boys? Russia and Ukraine killing each other right now. That's white boys killing white boys. When's the last time you seen that? That's how you know it's our time. So they're increasing their trickery to get our babies to kill each other. If they see us divided, if the babies look at us and see us not able to come together, how do they have the example to know how to do it? They won't have the example. When you're a child, you learn through emulation. You imitate what you see. So regardless of what you may say out of your mouth, oh, that's my brother, and then go back and backbite about whatever, but that's your brother. That's your sister. So if anybody start calling you to talk to you about somebody, yo, even after this building, somebody will start saying something, they will call, yo, you know the God was up there. Yo, that's the poison. Because is it anything productive? Is it constructive criticism? Or is it destructive criticism? That poison the brotherhood. And that ain't going to be a long time, but I just want to say it's a beautiful thing to see this. The young kid, the older kid, you understand? I'm going to leave you this right here, right? A young boy told me, because I was dealing with the music thing, right? And he said, yo, why? It's easy to make music. He said it's hard to stay alive. So he told me. Yo, he said it's hard to stay alive. It's hard to stay alive. That's deep right there. That's deep right there. Because you know what? That means I have to turn up my teeth. Because there ain't no problem we can't solve. Because I heard Allah said he have no problem. And that means the mathematics that we got can solve anything. We should never be confused about what to do. And when this brother told me, God, I have never really dealt with somebody that's in prison. God, you the first one that I let call my phone like this from a prison. I'm like, wow. Because all the people I'm used to dealing with is individuals from the street. I had never had the contact with individuals who never wasn't in the street lifestyle. This brother used to put money on the phone for me to call. That's brotherhood. He never knew me personally. He had never met me face to face. You understand? We shared a common bond of mathematics. That is what bonded us together. And to this very day, we share that My young brother right here, intelligent precise. I want you to stand up. This brother was a blood at that time.
Hey!
You're not a blood no more. He's not a blood no more. And you know what he do? He's trying to teach the ones he used to be with how not to be like that. That's not an easy task.
Not at all.
You know what he said? He came to a part of the victory law. Said, man, I need help. He said, I can't do it by myself. But you got individuals who deal with fear. You quick to have a problem with your brother, right? But you afraid to take that to the Caucasian white man. If you say, yo, are we Allah's 5% or are we the nation of gods on earth? But do you take this to City Hall and tell them, yo, I want real citizenship in the country. Yo, I don't want this law to be like this. And put the same type of pressure that you put on your brother on them. When the cop comes to you, you have fear in you. Why? But when your brother comes and y'all have a small conflict, you want to take it all the way to the highest level to cause physical harm. And I ain't talking about the 85, I'm talking about the one who say they God. You punch up and throw in your head, you want to hurt your brother. Over what? When you got all these devils out there, and I don't promote violence or anything like that, but before you go kill ours, before you go promote violence to one of us, there's a whole open enemy. If you've got that type of mentality, if you're willing to risk your life and your freedom to kill one of your brothers, you should have the same, not even the same, because you shouldn't even want to do that to your brother. But this one right here don't want to see your babies grow. You think this other God or brother you got a problem with really don't want to see your babies grow? He may have an issue with you, but he still would love to see your babies grow though. But these individuals over here don't want to see our babies grow. They don't want to see our babies grow. And you know how we know for a fact? Because right now one of our babies probably getting killed somewhere. Hey! 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 Hey!
Peace, can you hear me? I got a couple of subjects I want to speak upon. One of the first subjects, or the number one subject, is the show and prove. Peace, nation, the show and prove. All right, this is February. Our show and prove is coming up in 4 months. Brothers and sisters, gods and earth, we need to start concentrating on what we're going to do for that show and prove. We can't wait until May and then say, oh, damn, we got to get the show and prove. No, let's start planning now. All right, getting everything together, having people that we know who are MCs. I remember years ago, a brother they acknowledged me, MC, the show and prove, and he did a very good job. I remember Quasia from Adina and her sister ran the shows at the show and prove. I'm making suggestions now that we need to get on, whoever's going to take care of that show and prove, need to get all the different avenues of that show and prove together now. Start getting the people that's going to get those acts together. Get that person who's going to get those acts together, get their phone number, and let all these brothers and sisters that want to participate in the show and prove can be able to contact that person who is sparing that so that they can get everything together. All right? You have security at the show and prove. You have to have people that secure us at the show and prove. We're also working on that venue at the show and prove. We usually had it at Harriet Tubman previously. Harriet Tubman has not given us any positive feedback as of yet, so we're not sure that we're going to have it at Harriet Tubman. We might have it right here. The point is, wherever we have it, we want to have it indoors. And everyone in this auditorium should take it upon themselves to deal in security. I'm going to skip over to something here. I acknowledged years past, in Harriet Tubman, I would go into the men's room. The women would go into the women's room, of course. I went into the men's room, and I've seen, and I'm gonna just let you know, I've seen cellophane envelopes in toilet rolls. I know what they do about all that. So what I'm saying, brothers and sisters, guards, nurses, everybody here should be security in this parliament. You understand? Harriet Tubman said that one of the issues that they wasn't letting us into Harriet Tubman is because of the bathrooms. The bathrooms need to be repaired. Maybe what she was trying to say is they found all that stuff in the bathroom. You understand? But she didn't just come right out and say it. Listen, a lot of our brothers and sisters here are not too up in the brain. And you don't need to start dealing with them. And when you start seeing them doing stuff that's gonna cause us problems to be able to do what we said we're gonna do, as far what I'm talking about right now, having a venue for us to be indoors, you don't need to step up to them. Even just to tell them, yo, brother, don't do that here. And then ask them, what state of mind are they in? Because for them, last parliament in January, I seen a brother over there using the other, spitting all in the bathroom, spitting in the bathroom. I spoke up and said, my man, don't do that, please. You understand? Flush the toilet when you finish. And this was a grown man. I'm saying that there's people amongst us right here in this auditorium, and I'm going to say it right in this auditorium. Some of us don't use our brain. All right? Some of us act like we don't know what the hell. And another thing, you can't be going outside to Parliament doing your dirt and then act like, well, why we don't have the school? Why? You should know why. Everybody's watching. They got cameras right now watching you. And you don't got the nerve to ask why this. You don't need to get up on it and stop playing with each other. This is not no joke. And you don't want everything, but you don't want to participate to make things right. Everybody in here should be security. Everybody in here is security. When you see something that don't need to be done, speak up on it. Stop acting like, oh, well, let security handle it. Well, who are you? Who are you, brother and sister? Who are you? The same thing with them sisters. You go in them bathrooms and you see them. Some of our sisters ain't got their right state of mind. You're going to stand there and let them do it, or you're going to bring it up to them too. The point is, man, we got to get real. It's not no joke here. All right? That's one point. And to show and prove again. Start concentrating on that show and prove now, man. We got 4 months. I remember years, but they wait till the last minute. They try to get the show and prove together and become a knucklehead show and prove. Huh? All y'all that's down with the show and prove and y'all talking about y'all this and that, then get down with it. I'm going to say something about Medina, because I see my Medina brothers looking at me. In Medina, in Fort Greene, when they in that children's parliament, don't they have it together? You know why? Because they get together. They don't wait for the last minute. Right? Sahim, they get it together ahead of time. I admire them 100% because they do it every year and they do it without a flaw. So that's a prime example of what I'm talking about. If you want to get things done, then get it together. Stop playing with each other and stop playing and wasting your time. You understand? Listen, another thing about this 5% of paper here. This 5% of paper is our national paper, been in existence for over 2 decades. All right? And there's people that try to knock it down as much as they can, but they can't knock it down because you know what it's saying. Everybody in this parliament should have a copy of your national paper. Stop being stingy, and especially stingy about your own self. And letting people lead you in the wrong direction about this and about that. This paper goes on. I send papers across the seas to different countries. All the brothers and sisters in the jails, they can't wait to read the paper because they're on the interior cycle. They want to know what's happening out here. And through this, a lot of times they find out what's going on. So you can spread the news by adding on. Another way you can add on to this paper. Everybody in this parliament could be a salesman or a saleswoman. You know how? You come from different communities. You come from different states. In those states, in them cities, in them towns that you live in, I'm sure you know about black stores. progressive black stores that sell herbs, that sell, when I say herbs, I mean herbal products. All right? That sell oil, that sell other black information papers. You, being a member of this nation, can be a salesman for this nation. You could approach those stores that you know and say, listen, y'all are very progressive. I have a progressive paper. I'm a member of the Fathers Nation, and we have a paper that comes out every month. It's a periodical, one time a month. Maybe you'd like to have this paper in your store. You understand? Maybe you just want to get 10 copies. Maybe you want to get 20 copies. You can get them through me, or you can subscribe to it. In the back of the paper, it tells you how to subscribe. And when these stores get the papers in bulk, they get up to 50% discount. The point is that this paper should be all over the United States, and all of us can be salesmen and saleswomen to make this paper spread. It's very easy. I just told you. You walk up to them stores and ask them what they like. They make it up. They sell everything else. Maybe they might want to sell this paper. They'll make a profit. And at the same time, the people in the neighborhood who are interested in this paper will have an opportunity to walk in the store and say, oh, let me get that paper. I remember Allah used to do that in Medina. He used to leave it in a Muslim store. The Muslim store said, hey, let us get some copies of them papers. And he would leave them there every month. And they would sell the papers. And we would get a little bit of profit, and they would get more of a profit. The point is that we can do these things. You understand? We don't have to just wait for Parliament to sell a paper. Y'all can be selling papers. Y'all can be the instrument to get these papers out. This paper, we get 1,000 papers a month. We might sell 200 at a Parliament, and I say might. So the other 800 papers, where they go? Sitting around. But with your help, them papers can be spread. You understand? Use your powers, my man, for what you got. Don't just leave everything on somebody else. What you can do yourself. Again, I say all of us can be salesmen and saleswomen in this nation for what we want to get across. And in this paper is nothing but knowledge. If we want to get across knowledge, why not spread it in the best way we know how? Understand that? Another thing I want to speak about is ownership of a law school. And I want to reiterate on that. Okay, ownership of a law school. And I want to read something out of this paper. Some of y'all buy the paper, and all y'all do is look at the picture. I'm going to tell y'all that some of y'all buy the paper just to look at the picture. When you read nothing, you're going to tell me you're smart. Smart, I'm scared to read up here. The paper, man. The reflections is one thing. What about finding out what's in the paper? Intellectual brothers and sisters, and I don't mean coming down on you, but I mean coming down on you. You understand that? I don't mean coming down on you, but I mean coming down on you. Why? Because I love you. And because I love you, I'm going to beat you. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't give a damn. Listen to this. On page 11, I'm going to read you a couple of paragraphs on page 11 that says, be advised and advise others that going to the city asking for ownership is equal to admitting that you don't own anything. You understand that, right? You're going to go there and say, can we own a law school? You don't go and ask him, can you own a law school? That's like saying you don't own a law school. I mean, that's common sense. Don't think making that move is a smart move. Every time we went to the city, we went as owners, not asking people, can we own? People were already trying to prove we were not owners, so we didn't prove their point for them. When people denied our ownership, we always went to City Hall as owners and we won. And because we always came to City Hall as owners, we always left City Hall as owners. Don't be a shield for them to hide behind. Everything that sounds good ain't good Do not put land we already own in someone else's name. Let me say that again. Do not put land that we already own in somebody else's name. All right, understand that. Put that up in your head for a minute. All right? Don't
Put our property in other people's property. Something happens. Hold up, folks. Excuse me. All right? Excuse me. I already told them that I won't be a copy. Okay. Thank you. All right? There's a big difference between going to the city as owners and going to the city and asking to own. When we went to the state building, to the Manhattan Community Board 10, we always went as owners. We also go to anywhere and all affairs about our land as owners. We don't go there saying, do we own? All right? So stop thinking that that's supposed to be so smart. People got some of you fooled, and it shows. Many who know nothing about our land will fall for anything that sounds good. We already told you they did not win the land for us, but they will lose the land. Once again, you have been told by those who know about the land and know who for years has been trying to take the lost to them. Or they want to forward the district. They want to call us this bridge so that it can be They want us to call us this bridge so that they can hold it down. Don't say you didn't know, just say you didn't listen. Also be advised, others say shut down a law school for 8 months, or saying tear down a law school. That is emphatically now right. The idea is not in the best interest for a law school in Mecca or our nation, regardless of what the law school in Mecca do. Why? Once they start saying, let's close the law school, let's tear the law school down, so even the point is, even if you are doing construction around the point is keep a law school operating. Because once you keep the law school operating, they can't say, well, they ain't doing nothing. Giving them food. Giving them fire. Don't give them fire to come back at you. That's like killing yourself. You know, you gotta think. You say a law school in Mecca is at a turning point. Too many already let it fall into despair. Use the money coming from our yard to improve a law school in Mecca. Stop stalling to let our law school fall in. And I'm talking about a law school our headquarters. We have schools in different areas, but we know this in our foundation. That's why it's so important. That is what law that the law would say. 2122, a law will give you all law. Sylvia next door at the beauty parlor, she came into the school, she said, after the block was given up, she was the last one to leave the school. In 1970, whatever, I was there. And she said, do you all want this property? Because I'm leaving. And you all were large and clean and all of you. She said, yeah, we want that. So we incorporated that. And then in time, we started taking care of that land around the school. You heard the law say, adverse possession. We put a fence around it and we took ownership of it. And think about it. Anytime people want to do something on a law school property, and if you think it's funny, laugh at yourself. Every time somebody wanted to do something on a law school property, and they went to the city and asked the city, could we do something on that half a block there where they got a law school at? What did the city tell them to do? Say it again. They said, go ask them brothers and sisters up there that belong to them. Do I have to tell it? They said, go up there and ask them. I know, because they said, they came back and said, they told us to come ask yours. So why are you going to talk about who? A little slow in the brain? Better start thinking. It says, look, I'm skipping over a lot of stuff here. It says also, check your foul language and who's talking around. And check those bathrooms, exactly what I said. All right? And check what's going on. Look, there's a lot of people that is here now. You're going to be out here teaching, they're going to be out here drinking, everybody's here. Don't be scared to ask. Just they know you're right anyway. They know that you're right. So if they start getting mad, then you need to look at who the hell they is. If they get mad at you for you telling them to clean up their act at Parliament, then you need to look at who the hell they is. Because somebody only a person that's not will fight and tell you no. They reveal their own selves. It's hard for you to figure that out. You understand? But listen. I remember years ago, I used to get the door to those people. I used to pat everybody down. Years ago. You know, they used to get mad. I used to see them coming in the morning and having some of these, hey, no sound. This is the book. You know he's going to check us. Who the hell is they if they don't want to be checked? They want to just bypass everything and act like they so special. And the other thing, I used to walk around with that jug. You see them walking around? I used to walk around with four greens, Mount Mars, everything, for donations for our mission. And you know what they said? Again, here he comes again. You know why they was mad? Probably because they wasn't part of this and they didn't give a damn about it. The only thing they're going to do is go support the LIT or the Seaside for Seaside. That's what they support. When you start telling them to support something that they claim to be about, they run and hide. They hit my legs. They make me think that they know. And I'm serious, man. I'm in my God sanctity degrees. I've been here since I was 17. And I've seen a lot of brothers who tell me that they this and they that. And I watch theirs. I sit back and watch theirs. And a lot of them look like little puppies. Because they fall for anything. They fall for anything. You can tell them anything, and they can tell them to do anything, and they stupid asses won't do it. How smart are they? I look at them and I tell them, I know what you're about, and I don't care whether you like me or not. If you don't like Allah, then what the hell is you doing here? I'm about Allah. Always has been. And everybody here needs to be about Allah. Say you're about Allah. This ain't no damn joke. You think it's a joke, you better look in the mirror so you can laugh at yourself. Because you're the damn joke. And the devil laughing at your ass every day. No. Sorry to tell you that, but the damn devil will laugh in your face. Alright? I'm only telling you. And everybody in this auditorium needs to be getting off paper. You don't mind running and getting every damn thing else? You ain't got $2 to help out your paper. Huh? It's a shame to see how y'all walk on by and the way y'all looking. Because you're scared of $2 damn. You run around buying everything else. No, man, this is nation business right here. Again, one more time. Show and prove. This is February. We got culture months. We need to start concentrating on the show and prove. Everybody that's down with that show and prove needs to start getting these offices together. Because there's different parts that make up the whole. Well, if you're a part of this, then get that done. If you're a part of that, then get that done to make everything work. Stop waiting around You understand? Your 11th degree tell you stop waiting. Stop waiting. Tell me. Stop waiting. It's time for you to do things now. The 14th letter in the alphabet now. And put an end to that crap. The second thing, again, is that we could all be salespeople. All right? We don't all live in New York City. Some of us live in different states. And everybody in the sound of my voice, all over the United States, whether you're in California, Texas, South Carolina, you can be selling newspapers for 5% newspaper, or you have to go to progressive black stores and ask them do they want a progressive article, periodical in their store. That they say, yeah, tell them they can subscribe and they can have it delivered to them. And it only costs $25 for the sale. You spend $25 at the Chinese restaurant. This is for the whole year. I didn't say $1 a day. I didn't say $365. I said $25 for the whole year. It only come out once a month. It only come out once a month. If we tried to put it out once a week, well, we wouldn't be able to do it. Struggling now to keep it going. Because we can't get people to buy it. Can't get you all to participate. Can't get you all to participate. That's why I'm saying, why don't you all be salespeople? And sell, get the paper sold in your communities, in your cities, in your states. Add on, brothers and sisters. And the last thing again is the ownership. We own what we got. It's in front of your face. Stop running around asking people, well, do we own, do we own, do we own? We already told you that you own it. And the city done told you that you own it. You need somebody to bang you over the head. All right? Right. Everything is real. My name is Saul. I'm not about being stupid. I'm about being real. Always has been that. And I'm going to stand.
All right, please, brother. We're going to continue with basic business, but I'm going to ask that you grab these 5 minutes. Right? You've been patient there for a long time. You know, but it's not with me, divine prince man, the rest of my law. Because I don't want nothing from you. I don't want your money. I want it in television. Because I've always been to you, man, about what is occurring in our land. Sure, our mantra is the black man is God, but there's a greater thing to consider, to save the children from what is happening now, not only in this city, but throughout this country, for you to realize that there's been a great paradigm shift in how things are operated in this society, socially, economically, or not so much politically, but you are being brought into a new era known as the technocratic era, where scientists rule this land and got you so confounded that you cannot imagine life without your cell phone, without social media, without all these things that are being put upon you, and the ones that are going to suffer for what's up are our children, and we do not do something to address these devils that are bringing in a so-called New World Order that they're calling the 4th Industrial Revolution. Now, it sickens me that so many educated people are not addressing that issue. But now and then, you begin to see, man, how the transgenders are everywhere. All the television shows, there's some truly, that female Americans, because in my day, I'm 71 years old, I remember they used to carry a piano on their back so you wouldn't know who they are. Now they run out in the open. Run out in the open. And what does that do to a child that has to go to school with them when they pass legislation to allow these Nazis to come over from the Ukraine and you give them Social Security? They put one dime into this economy. But you have, and I guarantee you their Social Security check will not be like yours. And some of us that are there collecting Social Security barely make it. but committed, man, to bring about a change. Because you have to understand, Allah wanted us to make this country strong. To make this country strong. But you got to
Yes. Let's move this over a little.
that's
Thank
the
you.
thing that you should be attending to. Every day, to realize and to shut them down at every corner with a big campaign, large by COVID-19, has infected the whole world, where you're sitting there like, you know, what can I do? I'm powerless in the face of these devils, but you're not. The only power they got is the power you give them. And to continue on all of your ideas, because money is changing. Everything's changing. Right? And you cannot hide for it. You're doing this, you're busting your ass for these jobs. In a little while, robotics will take over everything is not. We keep it real silent. But Uncle Bob is not Uncle Bob. Truth and righteousness. I'm going to tell you the truth whether you like it or not. We're going to continue on today, man. But I'd like everyone to just take a moment to think not only the greatness of this man, but also of his father's saint. I very seldom hear Black Messiah's name mentioned, but he was Allah's firstborn, wasn't he? I very seldom hear about Azrael. But we keep coming. And when we pass, because man, let me tell you something. This body gonna go, this spaceship gonna go one day. You know? So the continent is not gonna go anywhere. Law lives as long as you live. And I now tell you something, man. Don't wait for law to manifest, because it's here because you're here. And the next one for this family, the next one on that should do is the shop on. Peace. Hey, hey!
You're rough. No, I'm good, thank you. Let's go.
You know, the black man was known as that before he got phenomenal. You know, to give you touch a little bit of history before I go to my nation. All right, Black Messiah, when you first seen the law for the first time, it was, I believe it was in '63. The law was coming out of the malls. You know what I'm saying? He was coming out of Temple number 7. He was getting, the law actually was getting put out the malls because he had on short pants. He wasn't allowed inside the temple with short pants on. So that's when he's first seen. Okay, we're going to wind up real fast. Like I said, I don't want to be too long because I know the people to speak. Captain Joseph, or Captain Yusuf, from the FOI, had a little team of FOIs that used to go around trying to bully guards, you know, and make them not want to be 5%. So they all looked up to the black man, you know, to Black Messiah. You know, his other name is Kareem. You know, and they told him what did Kareem do, what did Black Messiah do. He went down to bail the Constitution, talked to Allah from the window, and told him what happened. And this is what Allah told him. Said, son, go, don't say Captain Joseph, say his name, say Captain Yusuf. You tell him I sent him, and to leave my sons alone. Like that. So when he went inside the temple, he got there. Another FOI was like, yo, young brother wants to come to see you. So he went in there, and he told him, he said, Allah said, you leave us alone. But Captain Yusuf said, who you made claims? He said, no, Allah. He said, no, Allah, not claims, Allah. You know, after that, Allah word was strong. They ain't messed with the 5% at that time. You know, now it's a nation business. I'm kind of hungry and tired. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You know, 219 pounds after you fed. Alright, back on the economics thing, you know, I just want y'all to always hear about it because that's what we're doing. I heard a lot of good projects. My big brother Tamari was up here, talking about what the other guys are doing. But we need money for all that stuff, and we can get it from us. We told you, and I meant that it's coming. Everything coming what? Like a law says, it's time. You know what I'm saying? Sure, I'm asking about everything coming time. So rest assured, the new year is coming. So around that time, or maybe late April, everything that I gave out, I'm just building a few gardens. And I also want Earth to get on board too. Because we definitely need that $20 a month. You know what I'm saying? ID cards and all that we need. This is a new time. Again, you say a lot of stuff in these bills, words coming straight from the law. That was told to me from his sons, from his first group, and even from one of his honorary fathers. Willie, I don't see him around no more. He used to be by the school all the time when I used to be working on the school here in Prince of Creek. He used to tell me certain things when I got him to the side. See, one thing about me, I take nothing or no one on face value. God's own word. If I read a lesson in your name, I'm going to come to you and ask you, did this happen? Because we about the truth. You know what I'm saying? The truth is absolute. I don't want to get up here and be talking no history and don't know what I'm talking about. Because we're not about it. And that's all I want to say. Peace. Peace.
And I'm originally from Medina, Coney Island. Now rest in Pelham. What I want to speak about today is God's life divine. It born wisdom equality, which is today's man. Born, build, or destroy. We as gods must know the science of building and destroying. You must know the science of building our power on a daily basis. Not saying you don't know. What I'm saying is you don't know. Every day, the brother said we must go from knowledge to born. That's the supreme mathematics. We must also deal with the alphabet. All the lessons. That's what makes us strong. That's what makes us go from knowledge to born. People call it positive, powerful energy that we radiate wherever we go. When they see this flag, they recognize. You don't never hear about no guards being robbed or raped. None of that. Wherever we go, the presence is recognized. But what I want to say also now is the devil. We don't pay enough attention to the devil and what he does. The government, even though there's black in the government, is ran by the Caucasian white man who represents, in our lesson, the devil. If we don't pay attention to him, that's why so many of us fallen. But we don't pay attention to the enemy. What does he do? Look at all of them virus. They tell you you negative, but you have something in you that's going to strike you down 2 or 3 years later. Don't fuck with them COVID-19 testers.
That's right, Carl.
There are so many people that recognize that.
That's right.
You heard of the Bill Gates plan? He want to shoot them little computer chips and people so they can monitor you all over the world. Wife, when I was born, pay attention to your lessons. The lessons teach you that every day. Bill. Like, I bet you not 5 of you in here could say you reviewed your 120 before coming to the parliament today. You don't review them lessons, you ain't going to build. You're going to remain stagnated. You agree with that word, stagnated? Huh? That's when I came up. We had to study revolutionary history. George Jackson, Huey P. Newton, Black Panther Party. We had to know all that because that knowledge was power. To us to continue and to grow and develop. I want to pay some respect to some of the brothers that I came up with. Their names, R.I.P. A lot of them are still here. A lot of them went back to the essence. But they were powerful. They all were instrumental in my growth and development. Yes, I get time to be now to like a lot of God. I'm wisdom knowledge. Wisdom knowledge I get. Strong, hard, been home since 09. Peace. And a lot of the gods I came up with was Born of Love. So y'all remember Born. Kareem Victorious. Raw Love. Alpha Priest Cypher. Born Justice. Mr. Ali. Barshay. Master Barshay. A.Do. Dr. Darkin. King of Love. Born Master. Savior. Tislam. Raleigh. Jabbar. I Justice. Omar. Divine Equality. Ali Shan. Nation. Natural God. Peace to all them gods. I came up around all of them. And that's what a lot of us should start doing too at these parliaments. They're gone, but they should not be forgotten. They should always be there. One other thing I wanted to bring up.
You need to be here.
Y'all heard of the greatest story never told? The bomb? Well, in that story, they speak about the 1967 Universal Parliament, where he had just got out of Matabon, and he told the guards, he said, you are all pace setters of the world. You are guardian angels. Keep teaching and you will take over the world. Now, we were taught not to take things on face value. So when I read that guardian angel part, I asked the brother, beloved of God, who was responsible for writing most of the great story never told. I said, do you remember this statement? Him calling us guardian angels? He said, nah. He got that from interviewing another guard that was there in 67. So he didn't get knowledge of himself until 72. And that there is how that was manifested as true, in that lesson. Guardian. The word guardian means protection. And we do protect the people with our knowledge and wisdom. With our aura. They call it aura, karma. That's that God, powerful, creative energy that we represent. Where do we go? A lot of the gods don't, like you said, a lot of the gods that came up here and told, they said we ain't as strong as we used to be. We don't rep like we used to. The guards like the guard there, guard the shop. She holds a class at the school every Saturday to make sure all the guards that want to build and continue to build will come to his class. So I'm going to say peace and blessings to all the guards.
Hey! And earth. They here too.
Brothers be getting offended.
You know that.
Okay, so I have built earlier, and I wanted to address the situation again, but since the God's not here, I just want to speak to the God I spoke to earlier, God. And I have to say again, God, today we heard two messages. We heard that inside of the paper in the school, inside our school's paper, that it would be wise not to mess with the school and not have the school adjusted. Prior to us building together, we also had an opportunity to hear the God speak about some type of new developments at the school and it's called the Collar Harbor. Prior to that, the God from Virginia had built, and the God was building about how us as brothers need to be on the same page. I'm done building right now because the God who got up and built about what changes he want to have done to the school. God, I can't see the God present right now. The last time I had the opportunity to build on this topic, the God was loud was building, but it came time for me to build on that, and God wasn't there then either. So I want to build about the Collar Harbor situation and the focus groups and the things that's going on with the school. I sat here and waiting for the God to go through his phone and occupy our time and not be together when we had an opportunity to build in front of us. And then at that same time, we also had that opportunity to hear God say that we need to make adjustments to ourselves so that we can allow this project to take place. I would suggest we do buy the paper, because the paper has been here since I had not so, and I was in the paper in the Born College in my first season. What's my point? The paper says the schools are not adjusted. I agree with that. The God, child born had been left. The God said that in another parliament that we have the money amongst ourselves to do whatever we want. The building, changing the school to an apartment complex and things like that, it sounds like we need grants and other money also. Okay, if we don't need that, thank you, God. So why was the grant mentioned, God, real quick? Okay. Bottom line is that before we move forward, we should build with each other more. The God said that we come together and this is happening, such as when we're leaving things in the toilet, we're outside smoking blood, we're doing this and that, and I keep coming back to Parliament 67 years later, building about the same topic. It's because enough energy is not being placed inside of the cycle. And I will close with this, guys.
On the camera and have a
I
conversation.
got myself in 94, I was 6 years old. I went to the show and prove in the Thorn, Equality. Boom. It was that area Southern. I did a science project at the school. When I walked into the room where the school was, where you had the science project, I was probably one of the oldest guys there, but I was only like 19. There was 3 seats there that had situation too. There was nobody else in the room. There was 0 people. We went outside in the front, there was mad weed, there's mad beer, there's mad this, mad that. But inside the school, when the seats had a science project, there was nobody there except for me, and I came 1,037 miles to get there. So what's my point? My point is, God, is that the God's going to have to figure out what's important. What's important to me is that I am the Imperial King, I love the law, and I have my son, Imperial, and his brother, Excellence, and I have older daughters. That's what's important to me. When I come together with my brothers, I have myself together first.
before I got up here to build, I have my build together already, even though it's continuing to evolve. What's my point? I value all of your time. I know that you don't have to be here. I know you choose to be here. Me, I have no choice. This is who I am. This is who my son is. This is all I have to deliver. Now, on top of that, I personally have money. So what does that mean? That means that that's important to me. If you are alive right now and you don't have no bread, you want to talk about getting some money, talk to me about it. If you have emotional problems, if you have any kind of issues, God, come to me, the Imperial King I love Allah, and build for you. I want the God shall born to be here because the God is a fantastic builder. I really didn't know the God's name until today, but I heard the God build a lot. Every time the God builds on natural builders from the past. Building on signs and individuals like drawing clear pictures of signs from decades ago. I asked the God on the way out, God said, home. I was going to say, before the God left, I wanted the God to hear me say that I would like to nominate God as a national treasure. I don't know the God don't know me, he don't even know that I'm talking right now. That's what I would like to do. I'd like to nominate why? Because I know as a king, I need a treasury. I know I need a treasury. Oh, sometimes it was me, sometimes it was my wife, but I need a treasury. I need to be able to measure what is going on. Now, how are you going to ask me to give up my bread and give it to you towards anything when I come build with the God, peace, out the sign, God, boom. Oh, I'm the older God. Oh, peace, older God. What's the science, God? Oh, what's up with some money? Oh, God. Prior, maybe it was 80-something, maybe it was 90-something, the guy ran off with the money. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? But I understand that can happen because I got hit with the guys and nobody's perfect. That's the past. I'm saying out loud right now that I think the God shall born be a great treasure. And I'm also saying right now, if the God ran off, y'all already know what's the God's name. So I think the God is a great treasure. I think that will make things move forward. We need to get this moving forward. Next time I hear somebody come up here and build in Parliament, and then I see them again, yo, you got your personal life together, that's great. Glad to have time to sell. But we are at a point right now where we need to come together and have something to see. So the reason why you don't have those seeds here, the reason why I'm probably one of the youngest people building here is because the seeds and the wisdom need substance. They need something. You need to give them something. And I'll put you better. If you had something to deliver, if you had something you was really offering, boy, doors is packed, seats is filled, everybody, because it don't matter what the person saying, they're like, yo, I'm waiting, because they got something for me. All right? So if they're not here, it's because they don't feel like you got nothing to offer, period. And so you running off the mouth about who you are is not convincing anybody of nothing. Putting forth your actions will. The guy made a good point. The guy was very long-winded about it, but yes, I smoke mad weed. And I would love to not do it around the school. I love not to leave no blunt guns around, because when I walk down the block and the guy is leaning on the corner, on the floor by the school, drunk on the corner on the floor, and I walk by, and then you true die, and then I see the bill cloud walking by, and then you turn around and say, scratch your head. You can't scratch your head. There is no mystery God. It's all us. So if the guys know the God shall born better than me, I think the God is a fantastic treasurer. And then after we have a treasurer, we'll have the ability to put our money together. And once we have the ability to put our money together, we'll be up to $1 million, we'll be up to those levels. But until we have the confidence, until we have the trust, the power is the truth. If we cannot go, who are you if God can't put together money and put it together and move forward? Please, no, I just make my personal God. Thank you, God, because I love you. Hey! On 76. Hey! They give out tickets outside, you got a big deal, I suggest you go to it.
And before $9 bills, I took my cell phone. I have a cell phone that's in my name. Come on now.
I'm thinking not to get out there.
I like to know something very relevant for 30 seconds here, and that's called ego. Easing God out, or edging God out. A lot of people always talk about what's on the outside, but very few people can deal with what's inside. Because inside, that's where the secret's about. And until you learn about the knowledge of self, because that's the greatest thing that ever happened to me, is knowing myself. That's how I got to do. While everybody else is in fear, it's all about knowing yourself. And how I became to know myself is through meditation. You know, a lot of people talk about prayer, but very few people deal with meditation. Prayer is talking to God, meditation is listening. So I learned to quiet my brain and quiet my heart and allow myself to listen to myself from inside. But you got to understand, that inside connects to an energy that's outside. That energy is electromagnetic energy. That energy is quantum energy. And that has to come to you. You can't go to it. So now, the only way I was able to connect is because if nobody told you you had a nose on your face, you wouldn't know that you had a nose on your face. I had to learn about these energies. I had to learn about this, what they call spirit. I had to learn that in order to connect to that energy, I had to be quiet. I had to be still. You know what I mean? So I was going back to an episode on Game of Thrones. There was a guy named Little Fingers. He told the queen, he said, knowledge is power. She told her sentry, seize him and cut his throat. God came to sword through his throat. And then she said, stand down. And then she said, big God. See, people talk about knowledge, but unless you have specialized knowledge, you know how to change transfusions, you know how to do heart surgery, that's specialized knowledge. Right now, at Equality Power, I'm going back to school to learn computers. I just completed that. Now, once I complete this course in computers, I'm going to educate. Because by using it, I make myself better. I'm a personal trainer. You know what I'm saying? So, the thing I want to emphasize is that the outer mind is a playground for the devil. So if you stay on the outer, if you focus on the outer, whatever's out there, it's going to come back. Because this is the law of attraction, the highest known law in the physical universe. You could call it karma, you could call it, for every action there's an equal dimension of reaction, you reap what you sow. There's a lot of you get what you give. There's a lot of ways of putting it, a lot of ways of looking at it. But it's all about you. So whatever you focus on comes back. So I focus on positive. I focus on helping others that want to be helped. Because when I try to help somebody that doesn't want to be helped, now I'm in ego. They ain't really listening to me. So the only way I can help them is through example. I am a power of example. Because I have 18 years of sobriety from crack cocaine.
Good, dog.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the greatest things that could ever happen. I got knowledge of self in Kaiserslautern, West Germany. Because when I was here, all I wanted to do was play ball. I was going to the NBA and eat bacon. I wasn't trying to hear the 5%. You know what I'm saying? I had to go all the way to West Germany, get the lessons. And because my job was, I used to guard nuclear bunkers. I stay up in town 4 hours a day. I ain't got nothing to do with studying. And I got the lessons before the government gave me the lessons guide. And then I came back here, and I hooked up with Righteous and Just Understanding, and they gave me the complete. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I became knowledge law. And that's when I came to the parliament wanting to add on, and I got up here talking about in 1986, everything's going to align. The universe and the planets and all this. And everybody was like, peace, dog, peace, dog, peace, dog. And Sabu got me outside and said, where did you hear that shit? You gotta be careful what you say. Because see, it's all about emotions. You know, I wanted to get involved in this emotion, not realizing that it's not about what you say, it's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Actions is what it
It's
speaks.
both, man.
Yeah. You know? And so now I'm learning that my action is to show and prove how to do. Listen, I don't really have to come up here. All I have to do is show up. That's the greatest message I could give to this nation. It's myself. Just show up. But then when I see somebody like my man, peace to God. This God changed my life. Because I came up here and did it last month. And he's been looking for me for years. I've been looking for you, right? Sabu, you was right there. So I've been looking for you for years. And now we're getting ready to turn this nation upside down. You know, with you know, experience. You know, he's taking me to the second power. We are growing exponentially. And that's what this is about. It's about us getting together, unifying, and growing. You know what I'm saying? With positivity and peace. You know? But for me right now, I'm living the best life I've ever lived. You know, if you want to use this as an example, you can. But it's not about the outside, it's the inside. Because I am at peace. I am serene. I am calm. And because of that, I'm allowing the energy to come to me. I'm attracting this. And so, you know, it's not what I have to say. It's just that I love everyone here. My brothers and sisters. Peace!
Great, my name is Rasheen. I'm going to speak for about 5 hours, so I need no, peace. You know, so, again, just to reiterate, we're here commemorating and celebrating the birth of the Father today, each and every day. Right? College Woodson, right, started Black History Month. History Week actually started. Then it became Black History Month. It's the same author and historian who wrote the book, The Education of Nineveh. Right? Good book. Right? Black history is each and every day. Right? Definitely Allah, one of the most unsung heroes. Right? Why? There's no place you can go right now. And if they don't know who you are, they get, I know the flag. I may not know, but I recognize the flag. And I'm talking about in remote parts of the world. This happened with just only a handful of people in 1964. It was a handful, wasn't no, once Allah saw, you know, the first 9, he gave them a whole set of 120. Well, the first thing he did was to let them know who they were. And then, like I teach in my class, all 120 is a map, a guide. Right? That's what it don't make you God at all. Nope. So what it does tell you is that you have complete knowledge and wisdom of the cipher, which is everything that it is. How that happens is, again, like I said earlier, you have to retain and internalize the information. Right? Now, for a lot of us older 5%, right, quoting 120, even that. But it was hard coming in. And understandably so. Look what we've done to us. Right? We're here commemorating Allah. Right? And he gave us the knowledge, right? That the God had in his hat. Sha'abon 379. Like, I'm glad God said he got it. Sha'abon said, man, that's God making his understanding born to us. Right, all along. Right? Because just like in 1930 to 1934, the Master Prophet Muhammad came with the army Muhammad started making Islam, they gave the knowledge and wisdom of accurate wisdom and knowledge to the people then, right? Allah comes and does the very same thing, but unequivocally letting us know who we are. that you divine. No, there ain't no big G's, little G's, or you the small queen of earth. No, you divine. You the mothers and fathers of civilization. You the natural landlords. This is why you raised the act. Because it was a large truth that saved me, so well, Allah saved eyes, so it's this truth that I see. And I'm not just freestyling words, that's real, that's reality. History will best reward that this is not no schism. And ancient Kemet, on the walls, it said, know thyself. So the knowledge of self was an ancient science. All the Father did was that I'm giving you, man, this knowledge and wisdom from my mind. As the God was saying, and as we all know, supreme mathematical alphabets are keys to unlock the door to the lesson. God got up here just a second ago and talked about self-improvement. That wouldn't happen had you not had the knowledge. Right? We speak adamantly like that, man, because it's real. Look what was done to you. All of you here are beautiful, man. Look what you went through in your life to get to now. That wasn't easy. All the stuff you had to try to overcome to get here. This is why, again, history, let me say this to you. Now, Marcus Garvey said, history is important to a people like roots are to a tree. For the 5%, that's important to us. Right? Okay, history is important to a people like roots are to a tree. Right. You got it? Yeah. Now, the reason why I said that was because we need to know this history. Who our older brothers and sisters are. Whose shoulders we stand on. Don't you forget them neither. I had a brother, I had an older God, much older than me, going through hard times. Right? So another brother looked at him like, man, I'm not trying to hear that. Look, I never that David ass, That's our brother. How you gonna shoot the wound? Because your situation is right. But then when you pay attention to his mind, though, then you found right. Huh? Yeah, what comes mental becomes physical. Right? Like I said earlier in my field, we the true and living gods on earth. That means we'll go through true and living circumstances. That doesn't mean you got to go to jail and go through that. But if you do go through that and you come out of that, that only shows and proves this here also. So they know the about what we teach. And that's why we the Lord all the world. I know that world too. I know what prison's like. I know what dope's like. I know what being shelter's like. But knowing and understanding 120 and having that map, I knew what I need to know to come about it. Like I said earlier, we are the servants that prepared ourselves because we understand the will of Almighty God. So when you understand what the work and the will is, man, then there's nothing that you can overcome. That's why we get up here again, man. Our house united, not divided. That's why 5% of we knowledge wisdom. Let your words be congruent to what it is that we're talking about. But if it's not, or your action on it, then listen, man, look, have a good day. Or sit down and get the right one. But be here, man. Somebody be here. It's beautiful to see y'all. Again, I'm not up here with and I'm talking about again, like I said before earlier, to reiterate. This is dad and whether it's my brother can't see me in when I rest. That's me family. We've been supposed to go through that. I love him, that's my brother, so what? Yeah, God, look, but I don't like that. That's how you build. And we come up out of that. I didn't say I hate you, I'm gonna get at you. No, God, but we understand it. Right? But look, and we argued about this one principle. Yo, God, we both talking about the same thing. Damn, God, we talking about this. We're talking about getting right. Let's get the house right. Right? It's not, listen, God, wisdom is the way. His way, his way. It ain't just one way. Wisdom is the way. Right? The plan don't always necessarily have to be in the same way Lady Shabu had it. Right? Okay, for instance, a perfect example, the God had him and his team did to Apollo. Peace. So that's a paradigm and template. Okay, let me do something else in alignment to bring the joy and the people together. Right, we do right, but not that. We don't teach God, we add on and we multiply. We don't teach separation. There's some people, we don't teach that here, God. And I keep saying that, and I'm not here to browbeat, because again, history best serves. Right? When we were coming up, sometimes we had I'm going to take you around the corner and shoot this vibe real quick, right? And then afterward, let's go to this bar and sit down and talk about it. That's negative. No, it's not how I have to be. That's how I'm supposed to. Not saying you have to do that, I know. But there's no greater love than the love of my family. None. Sometimes, like I told my firstborn sincere told me, the first act of tough love, and as a 5%, because I got some teach God, come on, like from Divine Prince and Justice Hawkins, and he goes, here's some message, come on, young God, we'll help you. When I went to Medina, this is what I learned. Shut up! Back then, say less. Yeah, right, so, but that was done, but that was done only because, that was done only because you can tell you from Medina. Yeah, anyway, but no, I'm saying, that was done, God, listen, because I remember Sincere said this to me, when I fast forward to tape, I asked him this. I said, yo, God, listen, now, hey, why you make me young, make me so cold, you hit me off like that, and look at this jewelry. I told you this before too. He said, God, why do you put food in the freezer? I said, God, to preserve it. He said, that's why I told you cold, so that should be preserving your brain. That's right. Right. Give me that one. And I'll never forget that because on Medina, I learned this. Ain't gonna be shaking my head. We'll come in to come prison. No disrespect. Just a few minutes ago, I brought to come from the what's your name? Where you from? Yeah, no, I'm not, we family, welcome. Well, who are you? I'm going to take you on face value. Don't take me neither. That's the purpose of me don't want it, but what you need to know. Right, where you from? Then we break it, then I'll shake your hand. Then we hug. And I sound kind of, that's what it is. That's part of the history. Not saying not to do that necessarily, but I'm saying that's how a lot of us came up. But we hear God and we build in there, and I keep saying that, man, we can't allow, I keep saying this, brother had got upset with me one time, but I said this, because again, being laws of order, I'm a behavioral health field. So yeah, I take certain sayings or whatever, I said as long as the ties that bind together are stronger than the ones that tear us apart, all be well. So God said, I said, no, God, you're universal. Because that's about unity. That's what Almighty God said. You want to see me come together. Right. Come together, not separated. That's why we pay attention to each other's mind. And you can't stand, that's the whole saying, you can't stand the heat and get out the kitchen. But we gonna give it up to you like that too. There's some legs that current real cold and warm, and some very still changing. It don't mean I have to disrespect you or speak wrong to you. But this is a nation, and this is serious. We have serious issues. So we speak to each other seriously. Right, God, listen, I'm at that school, I'm making my business. I'm there doing what I can do. We open the door, just talking to God. There's let's open his yard, let's do what we gotta do. But one thing I'm gonna tell you something. The reason why a lot of people don't come, other than the true living, because you're not gonna come here. Not on my watch, you're not gonna come here talking about my family. So I'm talking to me. What's going on? Okay, so stop. Here you go. Here you go. And I'm going to give it to you right there. If you can't be the same, have the same backbone, and give it to me, and you're going to give it to him. We're not going to teach that here. Right. No trick knowledge moves, only supreme knowledge. Right, and I speak like that, man, because we need to be on that note. God and others. And yet, I think, what was it? Somebody just got up here earlier. If your woman's home, bring her here. If you don't have one, get one.
Yep.
And if she is here, have her become an integral part of this nation. Why? It's the nation of who?
God.
Men and women. Right? Yeah, we don't, of God, of the knowledge. Okay, yeah. But history best served put her in position in this business. God, I'm here with God. We gonna get to it. That ain't tarnishing you. Their business side, baby, is nice. I'm not gonna move this because this mic is so God, so listen, God, look, how you gonna talk to me about business? You can't even go up 2 quarters of it. We talking about business. We talking about a nation. Right? And the reason why I speak like that, because again, I make sure I'm among the successful. And that's us in here. But this is a reality that needs to be made manifest. Again, like I said, yeah, God, we understand, man. It's not always going to be about love. There's some people here, I don't care what about y'all sound like you. Okay, get on mine. That's not you on. Right? Okay, I get you. Because I may be on your line too. But one thing I'm not going to do. Here's what I'm not going to do. I may not like you either. But I'm not going to try to create those minds. That's devilish. See? I may not like you. I may not break bread with you like I do him. But that don't mean you're not my brother. That don't mean this either. There's a whole lot of calls. Look, God, we need you to come down here. I'm like, okay, I need to be cross-eyed, but I know your work speaks for itself. See? That's what I speak to. Not the personality, it's the principle. Yo, God, listen, we doing this out here, we need the nation to come. Because you're always talking about Mecca and Medina. But we out here in Asbury, we out here in Neptune, we out here in Richmond, we out here whatever. We need you to come out here and add on. Okay, that. But we're not causing separation. That's the devil. That's what he did in the culture degree in 114. And he do it now, and he's nice with it. Come here, black individual. Put this flag on. All you got to do is say, peace, I don't know too much knowledge, and just go sit with it and stuff alone. So what the devil don't know is everything's so different to be shown in food. Yep. That's why when we greet the ignorant, we greet them in peace. When I greet my enemy, who I know right in this room, peace to you too. Why? Peace, the apple of hope to you. Right? Power, equality. Allah see everything. Right. That's why the eyes round, because it gives you a well-rounded picture of reality. That's why no swore was successful. Shot this man 7 times in the elevator and thought like the rest of them, like Mountain and Malcolm, because they were young. The father was the oldest of the ones that went back. He was coaching knowledge. Right? They thought, oh, I do him, then they go forward. Because they recognized where his power lies. But then they found out that Allah, being wise, all wise, empowered us. I see leaders and masters. See? That's what Islam is. Right? Not going to disrespect the disparage people's religion, because we don't teach that. No. I'm not genuflecting, I'm not bumping my head. I am the Lord, thy God. I create the sun, the moon, and the stars. How am I able to say that? Because you understand everything around you, because you know who you are. Because once you have the knowledge of yourself, you know everything else around you. I know wise, man. I don't need to hear Channel 7 to tell me about cumulus and cumulus clouds and intermittent clouds and okay, bet, even though he said 52 degrees, you better put the long johns on. What your degrees say? There's some days you can't be a cold warm, some days it's interchangeable. You ain't gonna build, you tell, I choose to tell you that. You already know what it is, what season you in. Right? But anyway, man, peace seeing you, man. Love is love. You know, I just want to get back up here and say that to you. You know, rebuilding. It's not going to be easy for the 5%, but we going to get there. Yep. We going to get there, and we getting there. Well, I'm telling you, as God said, and I'm not saying this, we got vanguards here. We ain't going nowhere. My vanguard will not, like, check this out. What was Yaku's first rules and regulations on his overlords? Right, the opposite word is enforced. So rules need to be enforced. Not the truth. But like if I play the hallway, you may not want to because there may be a hearing impairment or visual impairment. But if none of the above is the case, get out the hallway! Just had a dog look at me like he wanted to shoot the fire. I get it, God. You know, yeah, I did. Look up, you go this way, what? All right, peace, man. That's absolutely, you my brother. I got time for that. We got bigger fish to fry. Yep. You please, you serious? But laws need to be enforced. And by enforcing the law, that's why I said, man, and I'm gonna raise my hand. Next parliament, bring some babes here and bring these women to this parliament. Bring them here. I don't care who they are. Susie Chapstick, Martha Pork Chop, whoever, bring them here. They stay home too. How they go get it? I do it among the living as well as it's among the dead. Bring them here, man. I'm gonna do that. Come here, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? I ain't got nothing to do there, Lord. Come on to this parliament. Come on. And I ain't just come here like it's church. You know what I mean? Because see, one word changed the nation. That's how we got it. Right? The reason why we're sitting here is because you're the few that were chosen from the many. A lot of people that came with you with this knowledge, once they was told this, oh, yeah, I want that knowledge there. I like that. And then when you told me, first what I had to do to get the knowledge, what I got to do? Fast. Oh, good. I'm not doing that. You need one fast? No, I mean, you don't eat. You need study and yeah, no, okay. I thought you was just hard. No, that's not true. You know, there's a whole lot you got to do with this here. You know, and use your space. And that's to make your place. Each and every one in here. You know, so, you know, I want to say that to y'all, man. Peace seeing y'all, man. Hey!
God was speaking on earlier, that we don't know those older God. I don't know history. See, I can admit that I don't speak on them like I rarely speak on the Father, because I know too many stories, and I don't know what's true. So I deal with myself. But I wanted to ask a simple question that I've been going through with brothers for quite a while.
It's you, but I'm always beautiful.
Okay.
I say you're talking about original man, because the television already that those are his ways and actions. So could there be the original man you're talking about?
Absolutely. Yes.
There's a lot of different things going on in the Divine Prince's head. You know, and truthfully, the only one that really understands the Divine Prince is you. Because you speak the language of supreme mathematics, which is supreme intelligence. I don't have a problem letting someone know that I'm supremely intelligent. But humility is my strong suit. You know, just like you see the way I dress most of the time, I get more doors with a suit and tie than I do, man, with sneakers, you know, and my hat top on. You know, I find this to be true. Now I'm someone, man, that is always able to represent myself as a man. So let's face it, we have a lot of young men growing from adolescence to the stage of men that are not men. They can't control their emotions, right? Their relationships with females, their relationships with their parents now. You know, when I came up, man, you know, parents' word was law. My mother, man, was tougher than my father. You know what I'm saying? My father was all every day, because he's holding out 2, 3 jobs to raise 6 of us. From snatching the cause, right? You know, when they said you do something, but I have witnessed in the last 2 decades, man, that was disrespect that one would give to their mom. That one would give to their father. Okay, he ain't there, but he's still your father. Right? The devil has been very effective, man, in disrupting the relationships of the black family. And we always advocate, man, that a strong black family is the source of our independence, of our national independence. There are many men that denies of being a nation, but we fit all the criteria of being a nation within a nation. This is not new information. W.D. Du Bois in 1928 wrote about a nation in a nation, but he spoke about what we have endured, being politically, socially, and economically disenfranchised, being left out. We've seen evidence of this before. I mentioned before when I spoke that the President of the United States gave the Afghans and the Ukrainians Social Security. And I said, how the hell you did that? So you can violate your own Constitution by putting the same thing they did with the pandemic, Emergency Uses Act. I didn't give you sanction to do that. I worked hard to get the things that I have now. Hard work. There's no pretty picture growing up here, man, in the 60s and the 70s. Most of these young people have never even experienced some of the things we experienced as young men. You know, and they have it relatively easy now. You know what I'm saying? With no cell phones, all this, you know, the laptops, all that, man. We, man, did our own toys. We developed our own way of relating to one another, socially, economically, all that. You know, and the goal was for us to educate. I was the first one in my family to go to college. That was, man, monumental because my mother and father were from the South in a time, man, where overt racism was the law, the rule. But always knew that I was black and I would achieve great things. Now, the trials and tribulations I went through in my life are not so much different than others. I know what it is, man, to be addicted. I know what it is to have my hand in crime. I know what man to be outcast, to be put outdoors, to go in the shelter system. All these things I have endured, but I'm standing here today, man, you know, humble about the fact, man, that I'm still here, and I'm still loved, and that I'm loved, and accepted in places where I wasn't accepted before. You know, what a 5% man is essentially a teacher, to teach the world and teach the world. But put yourself in a position, man, to travel. Because I'm telling you, man, you know, we're talking about where's our land. This is our land. This is our land. We're the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth. Right? And it's just unfortunate, man, that the devils that are ruling this country now, man, are jamming it up for the whole world. You know, they're war with everybody. You know? And I mention, man, these things because a lot of times we get so caught up in the romance of mathematics that we fail to see the reality of living mathematics. Many men have tapped into the lessons, they've tapped into some information, but have yet to tap into the power. When you're a man of power, there's nothing that will defeat you. Now, let me tell you something, man. There's only so many hours in the day. All right? Some of us, man, are at the point, man, where it's very difficult now for us to get out of bed anymore. Very difficult. We have to say, man, we used to do it all night, now it took us all night to do it. All right? But still in all, man, the family is the most important. And I say this, man, that we're one that is very wise, just spending time, man. We have to figure out struggle now trying to keep our daughters off the pole. And it's a fact. They're selling their egg. You know, they're doing what they have to do. They say they might survive. You know, the music industry, man, is a cesspool of devils, of savages, and we all know it. But they aspire to be there. They're caught up in the glitz in the glass, the messages that are portrayed by social media, movies, even books. There's still books here. And they read them, man, and they form an opinion of what they want to be. You know, you got to go around, man, you know, who's this basketball player that was captured in Russia? She's so proud to stand up at a presidential celebration we had yesterday, the day before. This is my wife. And she looking like a man. And I'm saying, what's the hell going on? Yeah, and nobody see what the hell is going on? Nobody always see the chance and the tragedy of it is, man, that we have children that are now, man, the victims of that whole thing because we don't deny the children. All these babies. young girls confused about their gender. You know what I'm saying? You see the change, right? We have transgenders in women's sports, but women can't win nothing no more. You know? I mean, we look at this and say, what the hell is going on? But you are the peacemaker and the solver of the problems that are in this world, whether you realize it or not. You have all the tools that are available to you that you need, man, to unseat these devils from their seat of power. The seat of power, man, is not really of this world. It's not really in Washington, D.C. It's in London, England. And there's more things going on there, man, that are being brought over here to disrupt and destroy this civilization, to be involved in something else. We hear about, man, the environmentalists. Well, they're different than the environmentalists that was here in the 1970s. Greenpeace was co-opted. All these fires, they're sitting there, they're setting. They were talking about building super cities. They're talking about making everything electric, have everything on the grid. You've got to see, man, the world we're facing and structure the world for what our benefit. Our benefit. You know, thinking that you are some whole righteous people to get out your head. You're the richest person on the planet because you have this knowledge, you have this information, the intelligence man, this information, and an abundance of it, a power intelligence man will take you around the world. Everybody facing that they're going to buy their way out of hell. You can't do it because the money is not based upon everything. It's called fiat. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by silver. It's not backed by anything about it. You know, we're on a credit-based system, man. Just think about it. You don't have credit. There's some places you can't go. You can't get a car. Sometimes, man, you can't get that job because your credit rating is. And when did it get to be to that? I grew up in the time there where people had credit. That was invested in the stock market. All these things. They got the cryptocurrency now. It's got another big Ponzi scheme. You know? So what can we do as a civilized people that understand the workings of the world? Do our best to correct it in our own way. You know what I'm saying? We're a beautiful nation. Every one of us, man, have value in bringing forth the progression of the lost world manifest. It's already here because we're here. But I want you to think, man, you know, because there's a time, man, where day to day, man, taking day to day. You walk out the door and you don't come back home. Your wife walk out the door, you don't come back home. You know what I'm saying? The savages are in the street. You know? I say this, man, because I became obsessed about a 19-year-old that went off in Pine Hill, Florida a couple of days ago. All right? Yeah, I don't know what he was on, whatever. But he got a ride, going to the man who can't perform, shot him in the face, then he runs off. Right? They send the newspapers laying down there, check out the thing, he comes back, kills the newspaper reporter, goes into somebody's house, kills a 9-year-old girl. And these things are occurring with too much regularity, is the right word? There's too much of it going on, and everybody's standing power. You want to march up here and beg and plead, you've got to take some action. So I'm saying, man, that the Father said that I'm not asking you to get out there, but do everything you can to continue educating people because they are lost. Yep. And matter of fact, the whole thing, man, is like you're living in the world of fantasy. You have no friends. None of them. You know what I'm saying? And those that come here, man, with us, they got to know something about what we have for you. You know? And people deny it, but I know that we were there to talk provocateurs among us. They're always seeking to be the naysayers and the troublemakers. The righteous man on the ground must be asked to do the right thing. Keep this nation government and to keep the importance of what we want front line, because we have an agenda too. The agenda is a timetable, right? And all of us, man, have a stake in seeing this through. I just want to say that, man, the floor is open. We're not there people that I don't know what some people get. The floor is open, man. Please,
Hey! I just want to reiterate, right? Knowledge, we must first and foremost protect ourselves. And the way we do that is knowing the science to building the power of protection upon ourselves. That sun and moon. Don't be afraid when you get the sun. Don't be afraid law.
How about you? See, that one's
Know
good.
the science of everything in life. Is that what the now building being and now talking disciples say? Know the science of everything in life. Teach the science of everything in life. We must develop different powers. Christians say God. God bless you. My God. The Muslims say, God, you are God. Who they talking about? Us. We the God. We the Son of Man. We that supreme being. We have to multiply that power. We have to represent that power and power wherever we go. That's how they know who you are. They know God is represented in the manifestation. You have the power to heal yourself. Any medical problem, you heal yourself. Anytime you get injured, you'll heal up spontaneously. You know your lessons, God. Build upon that. That's the problem with it. I said that a long time ago. Ego. They don't want to bear witness. Show and prove. Peace.
Hey! I'm waving around. My name is Wise Law. And today's mathematics is losing quality, God. But the thing I want to tell you is that we in society have designed it, but not for us. They set up rules called the Constitution. The first 10 amendments of the Constitution is called the Bill of Rights. Now, the Fourth Amendment in the Constitution is protected from illegal searches and seizures. And the landmark case, let me rewind. I graduated from college, I got my associate's degree in paralegal studies, I learned the law. Also, I was a jailhouse lawyer. That was an answer. So, the Fourth Amendment in the Constitution is protection from illegal searches and seizures. And a lot of our teenage sons and daughters are being illegally searched for no reason at all. Now, if they get arrested, they get this DA, they sit in the bullpen, and the DA comes to them, a legal aid with a case full of cases before them. The landmark case where that's called Mecca versus Ohio. That is a landmark case that any legal aid lawyer should know to free you from illegal searches. I'm not saying tell the police that. Okay, dog, I'm glad you know that one too, dog. But I'm not saying tell that to the police, because you want to get away from them as soon as possible. Let us go to court, get me away from y'all. Because they look for any reason to shoot you. And I got a lot of proof. Alright? That's the Fourth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment is the right against self-incrimination. In other words, you have a right to remain silent. If you give up that right to remain silent, anything you can say can and will be held against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you give up that right to an attorney, we will provide one for you. Now, they shouldn't question you. If they do or they don't read you your rights, the landmark case on that is Miranda versus Arizona. That's the landmark case that any legal aid lawyer should be able to bring up to court to justify, even if they beat the stars out of you in interrogation. Do not confess. Do not talk to them. A legal aid lawyer, or even sometimes you get these legal aid lawyers that don't even care. You yourself got to tell them no. Hey, look, what about my Miranda? They didn't give me no rights. What about their probable cause to search me? You know what I'm saying? Mac versus Ohio. Those are landmark cases, God. And your legal aid lawyer looked at you like, if you don't know, they ain't going to represent you properly. You got to tell them no. What about Mac versus Ohio, man? The cops had no reason to search me. That's right, God. You tell them, God. You tell them, God. You know what I'm saying? Those are that. All right. The first 10 amendments, you have a right to due process. In other words, you have a right to a trial. It's supposed to be a trial of your peers, a jury of your peers. That don't happen. Nope. That's my peer, you're my peer, you're my peer. If I go to trial, I ain't gonna see none of y'all on the jury. They're gonna see a bunch of white folks. They are not people of my peers. They are not my peers. That's right. And I live in Nassau County. They ain't my peers. Alright, so the first 10 amendments, none of those amendments were really made for us. We were still slaves at the time. So, who knows what the 13th Amendment is?
13.
That's right. In other words, we could be put back into slavery.
Yep.
That's the only thing that's stopping us is the 13th Amendment. God, man, you know what? The reason why I'm telling you this because, you know what? I really want to talk about more people here, but then you know what? They wasn't meant to hear this. Maybe you ought to go back and tell them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, God. That's great, God. Yeah. Okay. That's great, God. Because a lot of our youth are being illegally searched. They be like, I was coming home from school, and the police just roll up on us and started searching us. You know what I'm saying? And they should be held accountable for that.
Yes, sir.
And if not, then, you know, what the hell we got laws for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And watch out for that 13th Amendment. When they start talking about suspending the Constitution,
That's what they talk about.
that's right. Because all it takes is an act of Congress, the Senate, and the President. All three sign on it.
They're already trying to eliminate education. They're not
Come on, Bill, God, you know what I'm saying?
I'm saying no. Just saying no.
Yo, God. My name is Wise Law. Peace.
Hey.